in my ear all my life. It always makes me feel so warm, and very cuddly. And when they finally got me right where they want me, I always smile and pucker up and whisper back to them, "Are you ready for some football?"
Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers soared to the Super Bowl title last Sunday. They are the NFL's championship team. Now the finest warriors from throughout the league have set sail for the Hawaiian Islands and the end-of-the-season ritual dance. The big kahuna is here. Brett Favre was voted the starting quarterback for the NFC. And the other Super Bowl quarterback, Drew Bledsoe of the New England Patriots, will be on board for the AFC. The NFL's leading rusher once again was Barry Sanders. He's here in Hawaii. Chasing him is like chasing waterfalls, baby. And who's more over the top than the great Samoan warrior, Junior Seau? He'll bring his fiery passion into his 6th consecutive Pro Bowl start. The best team in football was decided last Sunday. Reggie White is yet another in this group of the best players in the game who will represent their conference today. It's pro football's all-star game. It's the AFC NFC Pro Bowl.
Well, it's aloha time and we're ready to rock. Time to catch the waves, the bangs, and the blocks. It's an all-star party from Hawaii. The NFL finale on ABC. Now only the best get to play on this show. The AFC and NFC go toe-to-toe. So get ready. I mean, get ready. Are you ready for some football? A superstar party? We got Frank and Al and Dan. They're gonna get it kick-started. Lynn and the crew's all set. The crowd is psyched. The NFL Pro Bowl's coming on.
Paradise where the weather in the winter is much like it is in the summer, and that's just about perfect. And today on the island of Oahu, Aloha Stadium is a perfect setting for the AFC NFC Pro Bowl game. It's sold out once again as the best in the NFL gather once more. Hello again, everyone. Frank Gifford with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf, and welcome to Aloha Stadium. These players have had just about a week now to get ready for this game, and quite frankly, I think the game has been secondary to meeting new friends and getting reacquainted with old friends and having a great time here in Honolulu with their family, their wives, and their friends. But now it's time to play this football game. Maybe that was it woke them up this morning, because all of a sudden you got to go out and you got to do it. And having played in a lot of these Pro Bowls and announced many more of them, I can tell you they will be serious for this game this afternoon. These players have a lot in common. They have a great deal of pride. They don't like to lose. They love to win, and they love a national audience for a setting. And now I don't even think I have to mention that there's a $10,000 differential between the winner and the loser. That could mean something to these players. I don't know anymore.
Each winning player gets $20,000. The losing player $10,000. It's a little bit more than chump change. And I think, Frank, the thing about the Pro Bowl is that every year on an individual basis, it's a blending of the old and the new. We have the familiar faces. Reggie White will be making his 10th Pro Bowl appearance. Barry Sanders and Derek Thomas have been in the Pro Bowl every year of their NFL careers. But the big story this year was the new in the National Football League, the new teams, the second-year teams, the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Panthers will be represented today by 8 players, the most of any team in the league. 3 Jaguars will appear today, including quarterback, the emerging star, Mark Brunell, who led the league this season in passing yardage and in rushing yardage by a quarterback. And no QB has pulled off that quinella since Johnny Unitas in 1963. So individually, the old and the new, and it should be a lot of fun. And Dan Deerdorf, you played in 6 of these games. What's the attitude of a player coming into a Pro Bowl game?
Well, first of all, they're so honored to be here, Al, and they're excited right now. It's the start of a football game, but it's a question, I think, at the beginning of a Pro Bowl about timing, because there are 2 different types of players that are down on the field right now. We've got the New England Patriots and the Green Bay Packers that just played in a Super Bowl a week ago. These guys are in great shape. Their timing, their footwork, and everything is right there. They are right in sync. You have another group of players that hasn't played a football game since before Christmas. These guys are rusty. These guys may not be in the greatest of shape, and it's going to take them a series or two to really settle down into a football game. In a Pro Bowl, I think the tempo initially is set by the defense. Let's see which one of these two defensive teams puts on the first big hit. Who's the first one to tattoo a quarterback or to really lay down a running back? And maybe the most interesting thing to watch for during a Pro Bowl are the special teams. What you have here are a group of guys that haven't covered kickoffs and haven't covered punts in a long time, and they don't necessarily like it. Al, let's get it started.
And we'll start by looking at those special teams, Dan, as the NFC in blue and white gets ready to kick off to the AFC, and that's John Casey, who this season kicked 37 field goals for the Carolina Panthers to eclipse the old mark, which had been held by Ali Haji Sheikh of the Giants. And that's Dave Meggett of the New England Patriots back to receive. A little past 3 o'clock in the afternoon, temperature in the mid-80s, and here we go from Honolulu. Meggett pulls it in at the 4-yard line, comes out past the 20, slips a couple of would-be tackles, and then is stopped up at the 32-yard line. Darren Woodson making the tackle. Let's take a look right now at the starting lineup for the AFC. Drew Bledsoe played last Sunday, the starting quarterback in the Super Bowl for New England. He has Terrell Davis of Denver and Jerome Bettis of the Steelers behind him. Pickens and Martin are the wideouts, and Shannon Sharp is the tight end. And then up front, Webb, Matthews, Dawson, Shields, and Armstrong. Richmond Webb has been in the Pro Bowl every year of his 7-year NFL career.
He set the game clock to 14:47. 14:47.
Larry Nemmers is the referee. They reset the game clock. And we're ready for the first play from scrimmage. Now, the teams that lost the conference championship games provide the coaching staffs. So you have the Jacksonville and Carolina staffs. Dom Capers coaching the NFC. You saw Tom Coughlin coaching the AFC. And Bledsoe to the air on first down throws, and it's incomplete up at the 42-yard line. Intended for Carl Pickens of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now the defensive line, Reggie White, John Randall, Bryant Young, and Tony Tolbert for the NFC. Green, Mills, and Lathan, all three Panthers starting at linebacker. Then Davis and Butler with Hanks and Williams in the secondary. At the 32-yard line, second down and 10. And the ball is given to Terrell Davis, the second-year veteran of Georgia. Had a spectacular season for Denver, finishing second in the league in rushing. Picks up about 4. Green and Hanks make the stop.
And Al, anyone familiar with this game knows that the rules are very different. You come in here, you play a basic offense. You have 2 wide receivers. You have a tight end. You can flex the tight end. And you have the same kind of restrictions on your defense. You go with a strict 4-3. The linebackers cannot blitz. They can step up if they see a run, but they cannot blitz, and you can have a strong side roll or a weak side roll, and that's it.
3rd and 5, and Bledsoe fumbles and recovers it himself back at the 31-yard line, but that was a 3rd down play, unless it's 4th down, and they're forced to punt. And that's something that you'll see in the Pro Bowl quite often, because you have center quarterback combinations that are just not used to working with each other, even though each is a great star, Damani Dawson and Bledsoe.
Of course, they come from all different teams with different terminologies and different uses of numbers, so the way they call plays is strictly with verbiage, and they call the plays just like you would imagine. Off the right side might be a blast, and they describe everything by words rather than numbers.
Chris Gardocki of the Colts is the AFC punter. And back to receive at the 18-yard line. It's Isaac Bruce of the Rams up past the 23 to the 35-yard line. And we'll take a look now at the NFC as they take over for the first time. Brett Favre, his second consecutive most valuable player award. 39 touchdowns this season, 13 interceptions, and a Super Bowl ring. Fabulous year. Terry Allen of the Redskins and Barry Sanders of the Lions in the backfield. Moore of Detroit, Bruce of the Rams, the wideouts, Wesley Wald of Carolina, the tight end. Eric Williams, Larry Allen, Kevin Glover, Randall McDaniel, and William Rope up front. Williams and Allen, the 2 Cowboys on the left side. Favre to the air on first down from the 34. Throws complete, a little short of the first down. Isaac Bruce making the catch just short of the 45-yard line. Second and a short one.
Those rules we touched on, Dan, really leaves a lot of pressure on cornerbacks. You got Isaac Bruce now going man for man on Ashley Ambrose. He has no deep help at all. You don't usually get this ordinarily when you're playing your ordinary defense.
No, and what a big day this is, though, for Isaac Bruce in his 3rd year in the league, making his first Pro Bowl. He really deserved it last year.
And a first down for Barry Sanders, who takes the toss and steps out of bounds after crossing midfield to the AFC 47-yard line. The game's initial first down. Take a look right now at the AFC. Defensively, Michael Sinclair and Cortez Kennedy, 2 Seahawks, starting on one side with McLaughlin and Alfred Williams. Now a Bronco. You've got Derek Thomas, Junior Seau, and Chad Brown of Pittsburgh. The linebackers, Woodson and Lake from the Steelers, along with Turner in the backfield. And Favre with a pump fake going deep and incomplete. Intended for Isaac Bruce. Ashley Ambrose, who had 8 interceptions this season for the Bengals, covering on the play.
Bruce made a move to the outside on Ambrose. Good pump fake by Favre, and they tried to strike from deep. Let's take a look at the move by Bruce. Watch the top of your screen. He'll move to the outside. Favre with a pump fake right there. Well played by Ambrose. Just to be that close to him. Once again, it's hard to get help when your defense is dictated by the rules.
No, but Eric Turner got over there pretty well. He covered an awful lot of ground to get close to the play. Still a good throw would have been a completion.
2nd and 10. They set up a screen, and it's Barry Sanders for the first down inside the 30. Starts the sideline inside the 20, and Sanders finally forced out of bounds at about the 7-yard line by Ashley Ambrose.
Now Barry Sanders is one of those players I talked about that hasn't played a football game since before Christmas. The Lions didn't make the playoffs, and Barry Sanders has had a long time to sit around, and you'd think maybe he'd be a little rusty. Maybe his legs wouldn't have quite the pop that you'd expect, but Frank, I suspect that this guy could do it in the middle of May as well as he could do it in early February.
He's amazing. Look at this first move. Players, they don't miss him so much as they just flat don't touch him. Watch this little move right here. Just stepped over the Eric Turner.
Had Randall McDaniel out in front of him, the Vikings guard that made a nice block.
And this is Kerry Allen of the Redskins taking it through the middle and getting it inside the 5. In fact, Barry Sanders hasn't played a game in exactly 41 days. The last game he played was the Monday night game at San Francisco. That meant nothing in the standings, but did give Barry another rushing title.
Yeah, that's where he passed Terrell Davis that night.
Only by what, 15 yards?
Yeah, he worked long enough to pass Davis. Terrell Davis was the NFL's leading rusher at the end of the games on Sunday, and he had to sit home and watch Barry Sanders claim the title that Monday night in San Francisco.
175 yards that night.
2nd and goal from the 5. And Favre lost out of the end zone, but a flag is thrown. Wesley Walls of the Panthers held by Carnell Lake. And it will be a 1st and goal.
Once again, you see the coverage. Carnell Lake locked up man for man on Wesley Walls.
They run a rub.
Gets a lot of help.
They run the rub down there, and you can see that Carnell Lake gets caught up in a lot of traffic and is forced to make the grab on Walls. Things get a little complicated when one guy's going one direction, the guy you're trying to cover is going the other. You not only have to try to fight to stay with him, but a lot of times you're bumped off by your own man.
And they were teammates, though. Whitson on one side from Pittsburgh, and of course Carnell Lake from Pittsburgh.
And 1st and goal. This is Terry Allen who takes it to the 1. Allen has had major surgery done on both knees, pushed back by Lake. Allen began his career with Minnesota, wound up with Washington, had a fabulous year for Norv Turner and the Redskins, but he's also an unrestricted free agent at the moment.
Well, he is really a medical marvel too, Al. He had 2 ACLs. He lost 2 complete seasons, 91 and 93, and bounced back this past season with over 1,300 yards.
He was repelled there. He didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. That actually a loss for Terry Allen. Things a little tight in the middle here. AFC stiffening up.
2nd and goal. Favre throws, and it's tipped away by Lake at the last moment, intended for Wesley Walls.
Good play by Carnell Lake on Walls once again. But from the 3-yard line, he is playing up in front of him. Favre tried to float it in there.
Well, here's where I would assume you put Brett Favre on the move and let him try to create a little something. That is a touchdown if it's not for the quick eye-hand coordination of Carnell Lake getting his right hand on the ball. But we might see a little something out of Brett Favre right here. This is where that great mobility of his and his ability to improvise comes into play.
Lake involved in the last 3 plays, a penalty and 2 fine defensive plays, and it's lofted into the end zone to Isaac Bruce, who couldn't hold on. Bruce thought he had possession long enough as he came down on the ground. He thought it was a touchdown. The official says no, sir.
The rule is very simple. Both feet on the ground with possession of the football. The official on the spot ruled that Isaac Bruce did not do both of them together.
Ambrose on the coverage. A little fade. Boy, that's close.
Ooh, let's look at that one more time.
Did he control it?
Yes, that's a touchdown.
Should have been.
Yep. He had both feet on the ground, and it looked like he had the ball nestled firmly in his midsection. That should have ended the play right there.
And both Favre and Bruce were arguing about it, but they have to settle for the 3.
20-yard field goal attempt by John Casey is good. And the NFC takes the lead early in the game. 10-19 left in the opening quarter in the Pro Bowl from Honolulu, where the NFC leads 3-0. And we're back in Honolulu, and let's get a report from the sidelines and Leslie Visser. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Al. I'm with a man who thinks he scored in his first Pro Bowl. What happened on that play, Isaac?
I kind of beat him to the ball in the fade, and I knew I could get him. But, you know, I went up for it. I came down with it in 2 hands. When I hit when my butt hit, he pulled it out.
Well, everybody on this sideline thinks you scored.
Oh, yeah,
hey,
that's supposed to.
What about going back home? What did you ever know of Dick Vermeil?
Not much. I met him 2 years ago at the Blue and Gray game. He's a pretty exciting guy. He has tied in California through the junior college that I went to. So I'm kind of interested in meeting him, sitting down and talking to him.
What do you think he'll bring to the Rams?
I think he'll bring some sternness, and he's been to the Super Bowl, something we need around there. Just bring and come and light a fire in those guys, you know, so we can all be reaching for one goal.
Well, he'll be impressed with you. Thanks, Isaac. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Leslie. And as we always surmised, 1 butt equals 2 feet.
And as you look at Isaac Bruce right there, you might be looking at the heir apparent to Jerry Rice. He might be the guy that over the next decade posts Jerry Rice-like numbers.
Here's Dave Mega taking it back up to the 31-yard line from the 10, and the AFC will begin its second order of business from there. Now, different rules in this game. Offensively, no motion or shifting. A tight end has to be in on every offensive play. No 3 receivers on the same side. No intentional grounding. Defense is the basic 4-3 and no blitzing by linebackers, as we discussed before. Funny that Dom Capers of the NFC is maybe the greatest proponent right now of the 3-4 defense. He was the defensive coordinator at Pittsburgh, brought that great 3-4 with his own blitzes to Carolina, and today he has to coach the base 4-3.
Well, he has Kevin Green and Lamar Latham with 28 sacks between the 2 of them, and he can't blitz them. He can't blitz them unless he walks them up and makes them play defensive end. That's got to be a little frustrating.
One thing Tom Coughlin will not do, he will not use any play action, because if you go with play action, you can, as a linebacker, come across the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, you can't.
Yeah, there's Lamar Latham. He had 13.5 sacks. His counterpart on the other side, Kevin Green, 14.5. And the way this game shakes out with them playing stand-up outside linebackers, they're not pass rushers. That's a bit of a handicap.
2nd and 7 after Curtis Martin had picked up 3 on the ground, and Bledsoe throws, and the catch is made at the 45 by Shannon Sharp, and he is forced out of bounds at the 41-yard line of the NFC. Shannon Sharp, who was dinged in practice earlier in the week, and for about 24 hours it looked like he wouldn't be able to play today, makes the catch here.
And he's being covered by who? Lamar Latham.
And like I said, no play action. At least we were told there's no play action. Good play action there. Sharp coming across. Little release. How many times have we seen him do this for the Broncos? He had 80 receptions this year. The tight end, but more like a wide receiver. Great hands, great speed, great maneuverability.
And Lamar Latham is thinking to himself right now, I would much rather be chasing Drew Bledsoe than Shannon Sharp.
Bledsoe from the 41 throws it over the middle, but no blocking is there for Curtis Martin. Only 4 blue and white shirts led by Kevin Green and Lamar Latham. Minimal gain. 2nd down and 9.
Curtis Martin coming off another superb year. Last year he surprised everyone as a 3rd-round draft pick, and And came in and had almost 1,500 yards this year, 1,152 yards. Not quite as good as his rookie season, but he has had a tremendous year.
8.5 minutes left in the opening quarter with the NFC on top 3-0, second and long. And the ball is given to Curtis Martin, who takes it to the 33-yard line, 2 yards short of the first down. Darren Woodson of the Cowboys makes the stop. Woodson, one of 9 Cowboys named to this game, but 3 are not here because of injuries. So they wind up with 6, and Carolina, as we said at the top, represented by 8.
Pick up your helmet and go. You almost hurt you. You almost hurt
Chiefs, he has been in this game every year of his career. It's third down and a short 3.
8 out of 8's not bad, is it?
Just like Barry Sanders, huh?
So throws and guns it incomplete. Trying to jam it in to Ben Coates of New England, his teammate, a guy he's used to throwing to, but Kevin Green is there to break it up.
Kevin Green was all over.
Showing his versatility too, Dan. He dropped pretty deep, came back, made the play. He can do a lot of other things other than blitz.
Well, it helps to have a little help rushing the passer. Recognize this guy, number 92, Reggie White. He's coming around the corner, almost gets to Drew Bledsoe. He's working against one of the better tackles in the game, and Bruce Armstrong over there on the right side.
Fourth and a short 3. They go for it from the 33-yard line, and Bledsoe has it knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Eric Swan of the Cardinals knocks it down. Reggie White was there too, getting a hand up with 7:46 remaining in the quarter. 3-0 NFC, and they have the ball when we come back.
Delivering pizzas is a whole nother culture. I mean, my car is my castle. And the more they tip me, the quicker it'll get paid off. That tip was $1 and change, which is pretty standard. Thanks a lot. That tip was a big round 0. Well, I bought my Saturn because it handles great. I like its ABS and traction control. $16.95 is your total. I've never had anybody come to the door naked. I've had a woman come to the door with a bikini on in the middle of winter, and she was awful cold.
Dear Coach, what a season. But through it all, the road trips, the weather, and the bus breaking down, you were awesome. No matter how bad the food, you always ate it. No matter how bad the heartburn, you never complained. And no matter how bad we lost, well, never mind the losing part. Coach, we got this for you. Hey, Coach, catch a present?
You guys.
You could be heartburn-free with Pepsid AC.
Let's go get some pizza.
Get a big screen TV at a price you won't lose any sleep over. Circuit City. You can't get a lower price. We guarantee it.
Duncan Tim Duncan and Wake Forest meet Missouri. Tulane takes on Arizona, or Louisville at Memphis. It's Payne Weber College basketball next Sunday on ABC.
Tuesday night here on ABC, Roseanne Home Improvement, the State of the Union address, and then in prime time, Politically Incorrect. And then on Wednesday, Grace Under Fire Coach, the Drew Carey Show. Ellen and Primetime Live all coming your way Wednesday right here on ABC. 7:46 left in the opening quarter. NFC with the ball. They lead 3-0, and Barry Sanders can barely get out of the backfield, dragged down by Cortez Kennedy of the Seahawks.
There's a guy that's got a pretty good string going, Tez. His 6th Pro Bowl in his 7 years in the National Football League, and let's face it, playing for the Seattle Seahawks, he's not exactly led a real high-profile postseason existence. But another great defensive lineman from the University of Miami that just keeps chugging along.
Second down and 9. Favre throws, and it's caught at the 39-yard line by Herman Moore of the Lions. Ashley Ambrose making the tackle about 5 yards shy of the first down. Ambrose, a good free agent pickup. Ashley had been with Indianapolis, and the Bengals went into the free agent market, plucked him, and he did a great job. Had 8 interceptions this season. Out of Mississippi Valley State, same school that produced Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice took one of those interceptions back for a touchdown, and you're right, that's a lot of free agent productivity.
Third down and 4 now. Favre, he's going to go deep. He's looking for Isaac Bruce, and it's batted, and then Bruce makes the catch at the 15-yard line. Ambrose was there with the coverage, batted it as the two of them went up in the air, and Bruce with the presence of mind to bring it back in off the deflection, and a big gain, 46 yards.
I'm telling you, folks, you're looking at a legitimate bona fide star of the future in Isaac Bruce. This guy last year turned in the best season any receiver ever had who didn't go to the Pro Bowl. And look at that ability to concentrate on the football after it bounces off of Ambrose's head. But Isaac Bruce last year, keep in mind, had 119 receptions, didn't make it to the Pro Bowl, but will be at the Pro Bowl, I think, every year for a lot of years to come.
And he came back this year with 84 more, Dan, and more than anything, he had almost a 16-yard average per reception.
And that is receiving the football from a rookie quarterback. Tony Banks was quarterbacking the Rams.
And when everyone's average per reception has gone down pretty much this year because of the defenses, because of the high percentage offense, his has gone up and stayed right around 16.
And 9 minutes into the game, it's Terry Allen picking up 7. Brett Favre has already thrown for 100 yards today, 4 out of his first 7.
Well, it helps when you get a carom like that, doesn't it?
That'll tack some up there.
The other two quarterbacks, there's Tom Coughlin, the Jacksonville coach. The other two quarterbacks for the NFC named to this game were Steve Young, who came over, practiced, but couldn't make it because of his ribs, and Troy Aikman, who's out because of a shoulder injury. And on second down, it is Terry Allen taking it just inside the 5. And let's check in over on the AFC side with Lynn Swan. Hi, Lynn.
Thank you very much, Al. I'm with Curtis Martin. Congratulations on coming to your second Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl. But I want to ask you about the team and Parcells. Everybody made a big deal about Parcells, what he was going to do. What was the sense of the team as to what he would do going into that Super Bowl?
Well, we weren't too sure, actually. And as far as we were concerned, that was his business, and we had to handle our business on the field. We were determined to not allow that to be a distraction to our game and to the Super Bowl. So we put that on the back burner, and now that issue is being addressed.
We're going to go back to the play for a second, Curtis.
All right, Swanee, it's third down and 1 from the 5-yard line. And here is Sanders, and I believe he has it. And Lynn, it's our understanding Pete Carroll is in New England today, is talking to the Patriots, and a Pete Carroll to New England announcement is imminent in the next couple of days as Curtis's new head coach.
Another great move there by Barry Sanders. Romanowski had him all lined up to stop him short of the first down. And he almost got up to the marker, but he didn't quite make it.
It's fourth down and inches now inside the 5.
Well, go to that right side. Take a look who's sitting over there. That looks like Larry Allen and Eric Williams to me. And Favre, I don't know how he couldn't like what he had.
Yeah. Well,
he ran out of time, I think.
He did.
Out of time.
Looked right at the play clock and had to take the timeout. 3:51 left in the quarter. NFC on top. 3-0.
Prudential has helped protect and support families for over 120 years. With the largest capital base of any life insurance company in America. We've always been there for families, paying over 85 million claims. Today, Prudential touches 1 out of every 5 people in America. People think we have quite a history, but all we've ever really done is help insure the future. The Rock, we've been there, we'll be there.
When I bite into a York peppermint patty, whew, I get the sensation I'm leading.
Again with Curtis Martin. Curtis, as Al said, Pete Carroll is in New England, and it's expected they may name him as their head coach. Do you know anything about him?
Well, I don't know too much about him, but just looking at the teams that he's coached, they've had success previously, and I'm pretty sure if he comes that we'll get the job done and we'll have success up in New England.
Thank you very much, Curtis. Al?
All right, Lynn, thank you. If Carroll's named the coach there, John Marshall will probably be the new 49er defensive coordinator on fourth down and inches. It is caught by Randall McDaniel, who they line up as an eligible receiver, and the great guard of the Minnesota Vikings scores a touchdown. They lined him up in the backfield.
On a memorable 8th Pro Bowl, this is going to be for McDaniel.
And he might be available to any team this year because the Vikings said that they're only going to go so far in their efforts to re-sign him.
Well, he lines up at the blocking back, and of course no one defensively is going to account for a guard lined up at the fullback in the passing scheme. He may be the most athletic offensive lineman in the National Football League, and what a thrill that must be. Lord have mercy, what a lot of fun that has to be for Randall McDaniel.
John Casey, and Casey has to track it down and has no opportunity to loft one into the end zone for what would have been a two-point conversion.
And there was a mercy tackle on Turk.
Yes.
that was
more than a mercy tackle.
That was a gentle put down.
Could have buried him. Special teams, not so special here. 9-0 NFC.
Ooh, you're a lucky guy.
TV in Honolulu, Hawaii on it's about an 83-degree afternoon. Breeze picking up. NFC on top by a score of 9-0. John Casey sends it skyward and into the arms of David Meggett of the Patriots from the 5-yard line. Past the 20, the 30, touchdown fumble, and the AFC has it back at the 37-yard line. John Randall extracted the ball, but the AFC recovers. And let's check in with Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Al, I'm with the happiest man in Honolulu, Randall McDaniel. Tell us your first touchdown in 9 years in the league.
That was great. I mean, like I said, it took me 9 years to finally get one after being in the back for that long. And like I said, they said if I would lead block for those guys, they'd throw me a little something, and I didn't know it was going to come that soon.
What about the play?
It was a eye right, power pass right. The guy that's supposed to be covering me thought I was going to block me. He went down. I mean, he thought about being nervous. I got gloves on and everything, but when they got there, I figured just turn it up. And I'm just happy it's done now.
Well, it was terrific. He says the ball is already hidden away in his locker. Back to you, Al.
I'll bet. Thank you, Leslie. And Vinny Testaverde is in the game, and the pass is caught out of bounds by Kimball Anders of the Kansas City Chiefs. And Vinny Testaverde, 10 years in the league, started at Tampa Bay, then with Cleveland and over to Baltimore when the Browns franchise moved. 10 years in the league, first Pro Bowl appearance.
Well, Al, his best year had only been 20 touchdowns before this one. He threw 33 over 4,000 yards. He had an incredible year. Good throw, too. He has a great touch.
Ken Harvey, pretty solid coverage there as he boxes Anders into the sidelines.
And this is Jerome Bettis of the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off his first year in Pittsburgh. A fabulous year after he'd worn out his welcome with the Rams. And he, too, is a free agent. The Steelers are confident they can re-sign him. They think he fits in well there. He's indicated a lot of pleasure playing for Bill Cowher, but who knows?
Well, he had a contract that said if he gained 1,200 yards or more that he would be an unrestricted free agent. He gained 1,431, and so Rod Woodson and his fellow Pittsburgh teammates are vitally interested in what happens to Jerome Bettis and whether or not he comes back to their backfield.
Third down and 10, and Testaverde guns one up to the 48-yard line into the arms of Keenan McCardell for a first down. And let's check in again with Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Thanks, Al. He was 7 years with the Patriots, 7 years with the Raiders, all with grace and class. Congratulations to you, Mike Haynes, on being elected to the Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Leslie.
What does it mean to you?
Well, it means everything to me. You know, came in the league with a lot of high aspirations, and I was able to achieve them, so I'm really happy about it. You know, a lot of people should get credit for it, but you know, most of all, I had to go out there and do it. So I'm really happy, and finally, one of my big dreams has come true.
There are two answers everyone wants to know. Who will present you to the Hall of Fame? Al Davis, of course, has presented every other Raider, and will you go in as a Raider or a Patriot?
Well, I don't think I'm going to go in as a Raider because I found out that I can go in as either a Raider or a Patriot. And I think it's only fair because I played 7 years in New England and 7 years with the Raiders. And, you know, my success was in both places because of teammates in both places. So if I had to pick, I would pick the Raiders, but I don't think I do. So I'm going to go in as Mike Haynes, NFL player. And in terms of who's going to be the person presenting, I'm not really sure right now. I think there's a lot of people on the list. Al Davis is very high on the list, but you're on the list too.
Oh, great. I'll be available.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Back to you, Al.
Line, and he's tackled there by Eric Eric Swan after a penalty had made it 1st and 15. 2nd down and 9. He should just go in as an Arizona State Sun Devil, the way I look at it.
I'm trying to visualize Wesley Visser up there on that platform in Canton, Ohio. I'm thinking about that.
I disagree with Mike in the one sense. I think you do have to go in as a member of a certain team. I know that they put your bust and your uniform in a display, and I think it has to be one or the other. He's going to have to choose, I believe.
2nd down and 9. And this is the bust, Jerome Bettis, who's banged out of bounds at the 45. But it's an interesting point as you take a look at the Hall of Fame inductees. We'll talk to Don Shula at halftime. Wellington Mara, the longtime Giants owner. Mike Webster, who spent much of his career with Pittsburgh and ended it with Kansas City, the great center. And Mike Haynes, the 4 guys who will be enshrined next July in Canton.
Wellington Mara, of course, did not come to the Pro Bowl here in Honolulu. He's in Palm Beach, but I can tell you for sure he is one of the class people ever associated with the NFL. One of the reasons that it is what it is today, and certainly so deserving to be in the Hall of Fame with his father, T.J. Mara.
3rd down and 4, and that's knocked down. The pass batted down by Eric Davis. But just to finish on Mike Haynes, very rarely has there been a situation where a guy has truly split his career. And in fact, if you are told what you're supposed to go in as, then Marcus Allen's going to be basically told to go in as a Raider, and he ain't going in as a Raider.
No, certainly it's a player's choice. Beyond that, the one thing that I think of when I think of Mike Haynes is style. Mike Haynes played cornerback and made it look so effortless, so fluid, so never out of position. He just was a magnificent player and played the position, almost made it artistic.
Chris Gardocki tried to deaden it inside the 10. It bounces at the 5 and skitters into the end zone for the touchback. And the NFC takes it back with 37 ticks left in the opening quarter. The National Conference leading in Hawaii 9-0.
Good morning. I'd like to cash it.
And then Wide World of Sports features the European Figure Skating Championships from Paris. And he looked back at Arnold Schwarzenegger's bodybuilding career on Wide World Classic. That's next Saturday right here on ABC.
Neil Smith, great defensive end of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's here today taking this in on the sidelines. Of course, our season started off watching Neil play Matador.
Yes, sir, in Mexico. And it's lofted into the arms of Herman Moore at the 42 of the AFC, tackled there by Terry McDaniel. And so Brett Favre, who had 100 yards passing at about the 9-minute mark of the quarter, adds to that here with another 38.
Well, somehow McDaniel got confused, and he just lets Herman Moore go way past him.
I don't know how you could get confused. He knows he can't have help deep, but he just watched Herman Moore run right by him. Here he is trying to get back into the picture.
Well, he got back in, but at one point in time, Herman Moore was a good 6 or 7 yards past Terry McDaniel.
That's the end of the first quarter in Honolulu. The NFC leading the AFC 9-0, and we'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
(1847). An invention from Siemens makes it possible for written words to be electrically transmitted over vast distances. That was then. This is now. Today, the ingenuity of Siemens people is breaking new ground in communications and in medicine, in transportation, in energy and automation. At 80 manufacturing sites in America, Siemens' inventiveness continues to open doors to the future. Siemens, precision thinking.
Together with my brothers and my father, we are Mariachi Saldivar. I play the violin, my dad plays the guitarrón, my older brother the trumpet, and my younger brother the vihuela. We take our Saturn car all over town. It even has room for the sombreros. Once you hear mariachi music, it'll make you want to dance and move and shout and yell. You can't help yourself because it's that festive.
An ABC network television premiere from the #1 bestseller by Tom Clancy with Harrison Ford. This is the year's first real movie event. If I go down, you're going with me. Clear and present danger. Monday at 8/7 Central. Parental discretion advised.
Teammates today and during the regular season. Larry Allen, Eric Williams of the Dallas Cowboys. NFC starting the second quarter. And they begin it by giving the ball to Larry Centers of the Cardinals. And the fullback takes it to the 38-yard line. As we start the second quarter, 9-0 NFC, and here again is Lynn Swan. Lynn.
Thank you very much, Al. Jerome, the guys were talking up in the booth. Everybody knows you're a free agent, and the Steelers let Neil O'Donnell go because they didn't want to pay him the money. And how do you feel about it? Where do you stand with them right now?
Well, I feel pretty good about it because, they've taken the initiative to talk to us, and they've been really adamant about signing me. So I really think it can get done.
Okay. You had a strong year for the Steelers coming back from the Rams. Do you want to be there, or are you looking just for the biggest paycheck?
Well, the thing is, I love to be there. Coming from a system where I wasn't able to do that well, I want to get in and then try to do the best that I can in a system that runs the football. And I don't think there's any better one than the Steelers. And so I would love to be back.
So Damani Dawson was talking to you, wanted to make sure you're going to be back, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's been in my earlobe, over in the trip. But I told him that I'm going to do everything in my that's possible for me to stay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rob. Got to get bowling.
Maybe if they bought him a bowling alley, he might stay in Pittsburgh.
That could do it. 3rd down and 5. And his contact, and the official says incidental. Terry McDaniel and Chris Carter getting their feet tangled. No flag. 4th down.
Both looking at the ball, making a play on the ball, and there'll be no flag.
The reference to Jerome Bettis, an avid bowler, and can't wait for the season to get over. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, Jerome once bowled a 300 game.
Again, that's as incidental as it gets. Kind of a bad break for Chris Carter as he was making his move to the inside, but both guys looking at the football, and the feet just get tangled up. And into Brett Favre's life, a little rain falls.
Yep.
And there hasn't been a lot of it lately.
Matt Turk of the Washington Redskins is the NFC's punter. We'll try to angle this one and pin the AFC deep. Meggett lets it bounce inside the 10, and a good kick that skitters out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. And that's where the AFC will take possession with 14-11 left in the half in Hawaii, where the NFC leads the AFC 9-0. Waikiki Beach in Honolulu, and Honolulu has been the home of the Pro Bowl since 1980. This is the 18th Pro Bowl to be played here. Every one except one has been a sellout. And the AFC takes over at the 7-yard line with Vinny Testaverde at the helm, pump faking, looking one way, then going deep the other way. There's bumping, there's contact, there's no flag. Carl Pickens was the intended receiver. The coverage provided by the ageless wonder Darryl Green. 82, wind out of the east, the trade wind at 12. Humidity, very comfortable. 2 to 4 feet on the south shore, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, considerably higher than that on the north shore.
And whale watching for everyone.
Yep. 2nd down and 7. And Kimball Andrews takes it up to the 8-yard line. Just for those folks on the bridge, this is a stadium with a lot of movable parts. They can expand and contract sections. In fact, it's been open for about 20 years. And Don Capers was an assistant coach at the University of Hawaii back in the mid-70s when this stadium opened, and coached in the first college game played in this stadium.
Were you here then? You?
No, I was gone by then.
Had you just left?
Gone by then, but Don came along and said, what better place to begin an assistant coaching career than Hawaii?
Came into the pro ranks with Jim Mora, the USFL Stars, stayed with Mora in New Orleans.
3rd down and 9.
No.
Look at this.
Vinny, you were over the line of scrimmage just a little bit. About 3 yards.
He tried to get back.
Yep. He went over and went back again, but once you're over, you're over. Flag is down. They can decline the penalty, and the AFC will punt.
Well, dangerous, Vinny, on the other side of that line of scrimmage.
Coverage of the Pro Bowl is being brought to you by the all-new wide track Grand Prix by Pontiac. Wider is better. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more.
Well, the NFC has a 9-0 lead, and they most certainly are going to get some good field position out of this exchange. Isaac Bruce again back to return this punt. Dangerous open field runner. And again, keep in mind, the guys covering this punt for the AFC don't do this on a weekly basis. It's an annual type deal.
Gardocki sends one up into the trade winds, and it's fair caught at the 47-yard line by the Rams' Bruce. A couple of minutes into the second quarter with the NFC blanking the AFC to this point, 9-0.
Oh man, Turtle, what are you thinking? You're in the middle of the road. Come on, Turtle. Come on, Turtle. I got fresh beer. I gotta get through. Come on, this way. That's it. Come. What?
Everybody likes to have a good time, but hey.
Brett Favre affecting a very Hawaiian look at this point as he puts on the shades, 143 yards passing, and takes a seat on the bench, figuratively anyway, and gives way to Gus Frerotte of the Washington Redskins. We talked about the fact that Steve Young and Troy Aikman out of this game because of injuries, and they've been replaced by Frerotte and Kerry Collins of the Carolina Panthers, and we'll see him before the first half is done in all likelihood. And this play is for negative yardage as Ricky Waters of the Eagles is taken down after a loss of a couple by Cortez Kennedy.
Boy, again, a very active Cortez Kennedy. Keep in mind, this is a guy who's listed at 293, probably a little over 300 pounds, but boy, this guy has made an impact since he came into this game. And you know, he's one of those guys that plays for the Seahawks, and you know, he must wonder sometimes, what if I was, you know, what if I was playing for the Packers? What if I was playing for the Cowboys? What, a higher profile team? The man would be great for anybody.
Frerotte throws incomplete at midfield, intended for Irving Fryer.
He makes the job of Junior Seau so much easier, Dan. And Junior Seau, of course, is playing in his 6th consecutive Pro Bowl and working behind a tackle like Kennedy to keep the blockers off. He really helps the middle linebacker.
Well, he's got Cortez on one side, Chester McLaughlin on the other.
2 condominiums.
Yes, sir. Condos made of stona.
Yeah. Fee simple or leasehold is the question here in Hawaii.
Fee simple.
Huge.
3rd down and 16 as Frerotte throws, and it's too high off the fingertips of Chris Carter of the Minnesota Vikings, and it's 3 and out for Frerotte, the AFC, to get it right back.
Oh, and he was looking right back into the sun. Even though it was thrown high, he would have had a little chance of catching that ball.
You know, it's funny. It's so hard to put in a passing game. Steve Hurd came up with the figures, which are fascinating, I think, since this game became the game between the AFC and the NFC after the merger in '70. There have been 58 touchdown passes thrown in the Pro Bowl and 92 interceptions.
The defense is just so much easier put together on a short period of time than offense.
Matt Turk booms one.
May have boomed it too much.
He did. And that rolls through the end zone for the touchback. 59-yard gross, 39-yard net. 12-19 to the half, 9-0 National Conference.
Next week, Brett Favre. Brett, 143 yards. You're having quite a week.
Not bad. It's a lot of fun to just drop back and wing it.
What about the play to Randall McDaniel?
Well, it's just a play to give some of these guys who never get a ball a chance to catch it. So Randall, maybe he's MVP of this game. I don't know.
What's it been like for you a week ago today? You were a little busy.
I was. It's been a little relaxing this week. It was a little weird to be in the locker room before the game today and be so relaxed as opposed to last week. But it's been a fun whole season, I guess, and this week's been a good time to just relax.
What about for your team? You're potentially going to lose quite a few free agents. Which ones do you think you have to keep, and what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know who we have to keep. You know, I wish we could keep them all. Unfortunately, we can't. Everybody that is a free agent for us, really everybody on our football team has contributed in one way or another, and it has been great for us, and it's got us a Super Bowl. So I hope we can keep as much as possible and see if we can do it again.
And how close are you to your deal? Reports are you're going to be a $7 million man.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how accurate that is. But
higher?
I wish. I would say, you know, in another month or two. We're real close. The numbers are close. It's just a matter of when everything just settles down and we have a chance to sit down and talk.
Do you know you're wearing a Carolina Panther hat?
I know it. That's the only hat I could find today, but I like those guys.
Well, they got 8 of them here. You should.
I know.
Thanks, Brad. Have a great week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Leslie. All the cheeseheads must have been taken as Brock Brunell of the Jacksonville Jaguars is in the game at quarterback, and this pass is caught by Kimball Anders on his first play. He hit Tim Brown for a nice pickup, and this one takes it up to the 39-yard line.
Brett Favre talks about he hopes that Ron Wolf and the Packers are going to be able to sign all of their free agents. When they're done signing Brett Favre, I'll guarantee you they're not going to be able to sign all those free agents. There's not going to be enough money left to go around. Brett is going to vault to the head of the pack, as well he should. Two-time league MVP. This guy is he's deserving of every dollar he gets.
3rd down and 4. And Brunell throws, and that is caught by Tim Brown. So that's 2 passes, and Brunell and Brown look like they've been playing pitch and catch for about 7 years.
Oh, Brunell really developed this year. He came on, they stuck with him. He had some problems early in the year, but Coughlin just stayed with him all the way. Good little hitch fake and then the move downfield by Tim Brown. We're seeing a lot of that today, the out and down and the little hitches like that, because they're strictly man-on-man. But Mark Brunell has turned into one of the really fine quarterbacks in this league today. He's a great athlete. He can run like that other number 8 in the league. I think
that looked like it was going to be the old flea flicker.
Yeah, I think the flea flicker and the change of heart did Curtis Martin.
Yeah. He just fleed. He forgot the flicker.
But Brunell is a terrific runner when he has to, and they like to see him run. Tom Coughlin said, I'd like to see him pull it down and run. By the way, Tom Coughlin is calling the plays today, having lost Kevin Gilbride to San Diego as their new head coach, and Tom Coughlin is calling the plays today.
And right now he has 3 of his guys in the lineup. He's got his quarterback in Brunell, the first player, as we said at the top, in 33 years to lead in passing yardage and quarterback rushing yardage. Tony Baselli is tackle, and Keenan McCardell, one of his wide receivers. Whistle before the snap. Larry Nemmers has had a pretty quiet afternoon to this point.
Now, Frank, let me ask you something. Isn't that here? We'll wait for Larry here to finish up.
Prior to the snap, false start.
False start.
5-yard penalty.
Of quarterbacks of the bygone era, who I would have considered leading in both passing and rushing, Johnny Unitas is not one of the names that would have come to mind right away. You just didn't think of Unitas as being a real gifted runner.
Well, in his early days, he did a lot of it. It was just ugly to watch him do it. I mean, I love Johnny, but I mean, he wasn't thought of as a runner, but he was so effective as a passer in the defenses in those days. He got a lot of open field, and he would just sprint for sometimes 20, 30 yards. No one even knew him.
It was a great reminder to those of us here in this day and age that a lot more to John Unitas. You think of those black high tops and a guy who looked like he couldn't move at all. Right. Obviously, he could move very well.
Again, the less sophisticated defenses at the time, and a lot of man-to-man, and Johnny Unitas will sit back there and all of a sudden send Ray Berry deep downfield or something, and then pull the ball down, and he'd amble about 10, 15 yards, no one even around him.
Let's close out the Mike Haynes thing. We're being told by John Bankert, the executive director of the Hall of Fame, that they'll hang both jerseys up in Mike Haynes' display, both a Patriots jersey and a Raiders jersey, indicative of his service to both those clubs.
Brunell throws after he was pressured, and it's caught by Curtis Martin.
Boy, that's the feel I was talking about with Brunell. Running the football, pulls it up, gets the completion.
A little short of the first down. Let's go to Lynn Swan. Lynn.
Thank you, Alan, with Drew Bledsoe. Drew, let's not talk about Bill Parcells, but let's talk about the repercussions of that decision. Pete Carroll may be named head coach. How is it going to affect you in terms of having a new position coach or maybe running a new kind of offense?
Well, that'll just depend on who it is and what we're doing. But, we'll have an off season to work on it and get things straight. And hopefully, our team will be able to adapt to whoever it is fast enough that we can be successful right from the jump.
Are you hoping whoever becomes head coach retains certain people on that team so that continuity is there?
Well, there again, it's going to be up to the head coach, but I think that we've been successful with a lot of things, obviously, and so I think that maintaining some continuity with our team is something that should be explored.
What's been the conversation amongst the teammates? If a new head coach comes in, staying around New England, the kind of work you have to do to make that transition smooth.
Well, we haven't had a chance to talk about it a lot, but our team last year, we had almost all of our guys up there for most of the offseason, and I would say that whoever the coach is, that will probably be true again this year. We realized how hard it was to get to where we got to last, with this last season, and anything less than the work we put in won't get us back there.
You glad all of this is over? It's resolved to this degree, and you can look forward now?
I'm so glad that that it's all, that it's going to be settled and that we won't have that distraction to deal with anymore. That was just it made the season tiring, having to deal with all the questions concerning Bill and Bob.
Yeah, and then also the fronts. Everybody had the good face. Everybody had to put on.
Well, and I don't think that was as much of a front as people made it out to be. I think there was a very good working relationship there that everybody had. The team, there was no dissension inside. We just, it was tiring hearing all the questions.
Thank you very much, Al.
All right, thank you, Len. That was Carrie Blanchard just attempting a 55-yard field goal. It falls short and a little wide. 7:32 left in the half, still 9-0 NFC. Carrie Blanchard just missed a 55-yard field goal. If another fella can make a 35-yarder, there he is, Lance Allstott, won a contest to get the opportunity to kick a 35-yard field goal. We'll bring it to you live at halftime. If he kicks it, he wins $1 million. And this guy can kick because he's a former soccer player. On first down, the pass is thrown short, intended for Chris Carter by Gus Farad. But this guy's got a chance.
Normally in contests like this, it's a 1 in a million shot if the guy makes it. This guy routinely in practice knocks in 4 out of 5, 8 out of. This guy, this guy's legit.
Well, let's check him out before 40 million and about 50,000 on hand, and we'll see whether the blood pressure might go up just a little bit.
He's a 26-year-old. He's an investment banker for Chase in New York, and he's already thinking about how he can get the Hershey's company to get a better interest rate on the money that will be paid to him over a several-year period if he kicks it. First things first, though, Lance.
Well, we had a flag down on the field. We may have had too much time here by the old NFC.
Here's John Casey. Casey, the NFC's place kicker, has been working with Lance Allstott this week.
The year he had 37 field goals.
Well, since we've been over here, I've seen probably 4 or 5 different film clips of Allstott kicking, and the guy smokes it.
Yep.
He will not be short, and he will not dribble it. If he misses it, he'll either be wide right or left.
We'll have that for you at halftime as Larry Centers takes it up to the 48-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 7 with 7:15 to go in the half. 9-0. The NFC on top.
Larry Centers, what a great football player he's turned out to be, out of Stephen F. Austin. Turned into a tremendous receiver in that attack they have at Arizona.
And another free agent.
Jim Fossil, of course, who's gone to the Giants. And again, Larry Centers is a free agent. Jim Fossils did wonders with Larry Centers down there.
3rd down and 7. And it's caught at the 41 by Isaac Bruce. Spin move takes another yard or so. And let's check in again with Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Alan, with one of the greats, 17 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 4 Super Bowls. Congratulations to Mike Webster, headed to the Hall of Fame. Mike, what does this mean to you?
Well, I haven't really thought about it yet. There's a couple different categories where it means a lot, and some where it's kind of hard to explain how special it is from the standpoint of remembering back to that entire time period where the city was really involved. They had success finally after 40-some years. The chief was still alive, and it was a very romantic period with a lot of great people, and very difficult to repeat today because of the changes in the game. And we had 20-some guys that were on all 4 Super Bowl teams, and I feel honored to have an opportunity to represent the entire group because to me that was the most special thing, and I was the beneficiary of such an outstanding group.
Mike, there have been lots of stories about you over the years. Can you sort of set us straight? What kind of turmoil and trouble have you come through, and where are you right now?
Well, trouble and turmoil, a lot of times you bring on yourself, and that's part of life. Everybody has it, and it's a challenge. You can look at it as a test and a challenge, or you can look at it, but it's something that's not surprising. It's and you go through it and you come out the other end. That's the way football is, and I know a lot of times stories get exaggerated, and down periods become gulfs, but when they're really not, and you always come out of it stronger it's a great experience when you come through it. It's there's no trial runs in life. Life's not an easy game, as Rooster Cogburn says.
Well, it's great to have you here along with your 4 children. Let's go back to Al and our Hall of Famers.
Okay, thank you, Leslie V. As Gus Farad on 3rd down and 7 throws, and it wobbles into the arms hands of Irving Fryer at the 22-yard line for a first down. He is tackled there by Terry McDaniel.
Well, when you think of Mike Webster, all the years he played, Dan, we talked about the 3 Carolina linebackers starting today. Once in another Pro Bowl, it was Jack Ham, Andy Russell, and Jack Lambert in 1979. All those great Steelers.
Well, the one thing about Mike Webster, when he retired from the game of football, it was just a question of when would Mike be elected to the Hall of Fame. Not ever was it a question of if. In his era, the most dominant center of the game, along with Jim Langer, the two of them, both in the AFC, really controlled the position.
Did you ever think we'd put up a graphic, 185 games played on artificial surface?
Yeah, the only thing that means is that Mike Webster will end up with 2 artificial knees before he's finished. Looks like William Rofe is fogging up here a little bit in that in the coolers.
He's downwind in the coolers, and that can be a little tough on the shades.
William puts his glasses on the sidelines to look at the pictures and the formations, and then takes them off when he goes out onto the field.
Second down and 6, and that catch is made by Chris Carter, reaching out.
Nice.
Terrific, kept his feet in bounds, and not only that, I think has the first down and does officially at the 11-yard line.
Well, that's pretty good coverage by Ambrose, but I mean the ball perfectly thrown. About the only place that Ambrose couldn't make a play on it. Watch top of your screen. Little break to the outside, the drive by Ambrose, and the ball thrown in there perfectly.
Now, do you think if William Rofe kept those glasses on when he went out on the field, that it might keep a defensive end from hitting him?
Could be.
You know, there's a certain...
Depends on the defensive end.
Well, there used to be an unwritten rule. You just don't poke somebody wearing glasses like that. It's, you know, and as we all know, the pit's a great deal of civility in there.
Intended is picked off in the end zone by Terry McDaniel. Wesley Walls was the intended receiver, and McDaniel had position on him and takes it away for the interception. And instead of it perhaps being 16-0, they keep it at 9 and take over at the 20.
Al, another one of those unprotected free agents, Terry McDaniel. They keep bringing it up. It is such a big factor in this game today. McDaniel making a good play. Of course, McDaniel with the Raiders in his 9th year.
And Wesley Walls, a smart enough player that if he wasn't just a little bit too far behind McDaniel, would have taken the interference and knocked him down to prevent that interception. He was just a little bit behind, and obviously Farrat and Walls not communicating as to exactly where one expected the other to be.
Mark Brunell from the 20-yard line throws, and that's incomplete, but also draws a flag. Harold Green picks the flag up. And you know what he wanted to do with it.
Harold Green here. He's been to a few Pro Bowls in his career. He replaced Deion Sanders, who couldn't make it.
This is Darrell's 6th. Still covers a lot of ground for a guy 36 years old.
He really does had a big year. 3 interceptions.
Going deep and a little too deep at the 28-yard line, intended for Keenan McCardell. Eric Davis with the coverage, and Lance Ostad, the guy who will attempt to win $1 million, is down on the sidelines alongside Leslie Visser. Leslie, how's he feel?
Well, Al, they've been chanting, "Go, Lance, go." John Casey just told me this man will make more money in one kick than John Casey made in his whole career. How have you been preparing, Lance?
Well, John actually has been really instrumental in all my practice time, and he and I have been working out. He's helping me really focus. I've been at the stadium for a couple of days prior to 2 minutes from now, and I think the key is really to, you know, ignore the crowd, keep focused on the ball, and hit the ball real good, and then just watch that baby go through the uprights.
You're a former soccer player, and didn't you say you already kicked a couple 35-yarders in practice?
That's correct, yes.
Well, and what do you think the conditions will be a little different?
I think they will be a little different. As you can see, people right here are saying, "Show me the money." So,
we can't. Best
see what I can do.
Best of luck. Back to you, Al.
All right, Leslie, that's coming up at the half. We'll have it for you shortly after the gun. 3rd down and 9 from the 28-yard line, and it is caught by Sharp up at the 40 for a first down. Shannon Sharp able to convert along with Brunell, and there he is. You know, these contest started out as kind of goofball things where the guy had no chance to make either a basketball shot from midcourt or.
Well, they just pull a name out of a hat.
Right.
Or whether.
Yeah, but this has a chance. This has a good chance to happen. He hopes. 2-minute warning officially with 1:53 to go. 9-0 NFC.
You can't tell me though his mouth isn't a little dry right about.
There's a little cotton in there.
Producer demands that we stay in peak physical condition at all times.
Kenny the coxswain
had us out in front of the Kahala early in the morning as we had to leap aboard our giant, whatever that thing is, outrigger kayak.
Yep.
And away we went. He sits in the back and goes, stroke, stroke.
1:53 left in the half. Mark Brunell sets up the screen, and it's Jerome Bettis rambles across the 50, and he's out of bounds at the NFC 42-yard line.
Oh, and what a block by Reuben Brown out in front of that screen. Screen's very effective here today. Get that coverage, man-for-man coverage. It takes your cornerback out of the play. Reuben Brown with a tremendous block. Take a look. Watch number 79 now. Reuben Brown going about 305 pounds out in front of this. Look at Bettis. Well, he carries a load.
Reuben playing in his first Pro Bowl.
From the 41-yard line. Brunell throws. Sharp makes the catch, and Shannon to the 34-yard line.
We just like the way Brunell comes into the huddle and a short yardage offense like he has going right now. Not easy to do with players from different teams to operate a short yardage offense.
Well, it's nice to see a guy have success, Frank, who's not that textbook quarterback. He's only 6'1". You know, supposedly you're supposed to be 6'4", 6'5" today to be able to get it done. Mark Brunell's short by NFL standards, but yet who can argue with the results?
Eric Swan saved a big one.
He did. Yeah, Brunell had 20 open yards in front of him.
And the way he runs out, he might have taken it in.
Would you say that he's the only other quarterback in the league who could challenge Steve Young to a little open field running contest?
Well, they are similar, aren't they? Wearing the same number. And
left-handed.
Good runners.
3rd down and 5. Brunell throws, and that is caught by Keenan McCardell of the Jaguars, and it's a first down at the 27. And the AFC will spend a timeout their second. They have 1 remaining with 1 minute 2 seconds left in the opening half.
And hard to believe with all this talent. 9-6. Close to the final minute in the first half.
I guess that's Lance's fiancee, Deborah, there, the blonde.
Yep.
She's the one who's saying, show me the money.
Lance is going to want a prenup here.
That's I'd say if we put a blood pressure cuff on Lance right about now, it might be elevated.
Well, he won't be going into any punitive tax bracket because it will be paid out over a 30-year period. So it's about $33,000 a year.
Truly making $1 million not seem
first
like
time
what it really is.
First time you've discussed taxes that way.
Well, you know, he's an investment banker, something he's very concerned about.
I assume if he makes this from Deborah, he'll get a Hershey's kiss.
Yes, he will. It'll be sweet, too.
Ooh, Deborah's mic'd up, too, we see. Tom Coughlin's going, I could care less about this guy kicking this field goal.
Yeah.
You know, if we really wanted to see what Lance is made of, we could get both these teams to stay out here and line up on both sides to kind of watch Lance to see whether he can do it.
A little reality to it.
Lance will say, show me the money. They'll say, Lance, show me the kick.
Being out there all by yourself will be enough reality.
1st and 10 from the 27-yard line, as Brunell is under pressure but escapes, and Mark showing why he led all quarterbacks in rushing this season out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Lamar Latham came charging in and couldn't get him, and Brunell was able to step his way out of bounds.
Mark then said, show me the sidelines.
Yeah. When you talk to Tom Coughlin, he encourages this, and he feels that has made Mark Brunell a better football player, knowing that he was not criticizing him pulling the ball down and running with it.
Well, you look at Brunell in the year that he had, keep in mind how much better he's going to get. He actually threw 1 more interception than touchdown pass. He had 19 touchdown passes, and 20 interceptions. So in reality, the passing of Mark Brunell is going to get better. It has to.
And Al touched on the fact that he's unlikely size for a quarterback, and that probably was why he was a 5th-round draft pick in '93 by Green Bay and traded to Jacksonville last year for a 3rd and 5th-round draft pick. But he has been some kind of find. He wasn't a surprise, though. Mike Holmgren didn't want to let him go.
Well, I guess Green Bay figured they had a quarterback.
2nd down and 4. Brunell is already 8 of 9 and make it 9 of 10 now as he hits Dave Meggett, who takes it to the 10-yard line. Clock ticking down. They're trying to save their final timeout. 1st and 10 at the 11. And Brunell will stop the clock here with 39 seconds. 2nd down and 10 and 1 timeout at his disposal.
10 yards and a 1st down.
Got it all. Good use of the clock here in the waning seconds of the 1st half.
You know, you look at that touchdown to interception ratio, and you see that Brunell actually had 1 more interception than touchdown pass. Testaverde had a great year, 33 touchdowns to 19 interceptions. You look at Bledsoe, 27 touchdowns, 15. You know, they're all operating in that 2-to-1 ratio. And then you look at Brett Favre, who had that 39 to 13 touchdown to interception ratio, a full 3-to-1. What an extraordinary year by Brett Favre.
Yep. And coming off a year in which he threw 38 touchdowns last year.
Right. But 39 touchdowns balanced against 13 interceptions. Just a remarkable year by the kid from Louisiana. Mississippi, rather. Excuse me.
And a pretty good offense to make a quarterback look good. Mike Holmgren has done a wonderful job up there.
2nd and 10 from the 11-yard line. And that is tipped and incomplete, intended for Tim Brown.
And Harry Davis driving that ball. That had so much smoke on it, nobody was going to catch that.
Well, Brunell didn't have much of a shot. He really had a lot of pressure in the pocket. No way he could step into that.
Well, we saw Lance. We're going to watch him try to kick for $1 million. Don Shula will be going into the Hall of Fame. Will join us, and we'll have halftime entertainment Hawaii style from Aloha Stadium. So stick around with us as the 1st half winds down. 35 seconds left in the half. The NFC on top 9-0 with the AFC with a 3rd down and 10 at the 11-yard line. And Brunell out of the shotgun. Throws, and that's incomplete. Too high, intended for Keenan McCardell, and it's 4th down, and they'll have to settle for a
Brunell's pass intended for
Well, Brunell actually here, he was a replacement. John Elway was voted the starting quarterback for the AFC, but everybody else moved up. Bledsoe to number 1 and Testaverde to 2, and then coming in to fill the 3 spot was Brunell. Several players missing the game with injuries, both real and imagined, as is the case in the Pro Bowl every year. And at the 28-yard line, the ball will be spotted, or the 18 for a 28-yard attempt by Gary Blanchard, and he boots that one through, and Coughlin watches his team get on the board with 27 seconds remaining to make it 9-3. Mr. McLaughlin of the Oakland Raiders.
Chester has a new coach.
Yep.
Yeah, Joe Bugle, named a couple of days ago by Al Davis.
Well, the only team
take over the reins of the Raiders.
If Pete Carroll becomes officially the coach of the Patriots, and we do expect that to happen in the next 48 to 72 hours, or even less, then only the Jets will be without a coach.
$1 million kick today at halftime.
Pretty plain, pretty clear that he wants that number 1 draft choice from the New York Jets if he is going to release Bill Parcells, and Parcells' fate is in Kraft's hands right now, at least in terms of 1997.
Well, there's much speculation, though, that Bill Belichick is going to be signed by the Jets, and that should be cause for a lot of intrigue.
And there's a little intrigue. The sea off Molokini, the crescent-shaped island right off the island of Maui. Dan took these shots when he was snorkeling the other day.
No. The fear of being harpooned, far too great for me to enter those waters. I'm not going to end up on somebody's wall.
You may.
John Henry Mills of the Oilers, the special teams representative of the AFC. He gets set to cover this kickoff. Hey, a little self-deprecating humor, never heard of it. Here we go.
That's right. And Michael Bates is back to receive the kick from the 5-yard line, and the Olympic bronze medalist 200 meters at Barcelona takes it up to the 35-yard line. Bates of the Panthers led the league in kickoff returns this year, tackled there by Levon Kirkland.
Well, when you talk to Don, you're going to ask him about any possibility of returning to the broadcasting booth. He and I did a Super Bowl a few years ago. He did a terrific job on it.
That was for a foreign distributor, right?
Yeah.
You guys did it in English, right?
Yeah, well, we didn't realize there were no commercials, and we did it for the BBC, and that's a whole lot of chatter.
Yes, it is.
I think he's enjoying his golf.
At least for the moment. 18 ticks left in the half. First down as Gus Frerotte retreats and throws, and it's caught at the 46-yard line by Chris Carter, and that's a first down, but only 12 seconds remain.
One thing about Gus Frerotte, he's used to playing. You know, last year for the Redskins, he took 998 of their 999 snaps. He missed one play the entire season. And of course, a change, you know, Heath Schuler has been made a free agent. Gus is now, as they say, unqualified. He is the man for the Redskins.
He's the man, and they move into a new stadium to the Redskins next season as Frerotte goes back on first down and throws, and that's incomplete. Intended for Irving Fryer with 8 seconds remaining.
One Redskin who will be missing, Jim Hanifin. Your old buddy has gone over to be with Dick Vermeil.
He's come back to take the reins as the offensive line coach of the St. Louis Rams. And over the last week or two, the NFC West has become a fascinating division. Dom Capers, the dean of coaches.
So the geriatric set out there in St. Louis.
Oh, no, you know, Frank.
But Carson,
of all
coming
people,
back to the game.
Of all people, I can't believe you said that.
I may do the home games.
On 2nd and 8, it is caught by Isaac Bruce at the 47-yard line.
We're 3 seconds from a Lance, and I'm telling you, Lance is starting to look a little grim.
And a little green.
Well, Lance Alstott, if you're just tuning in, this guy is going to attempt a 35-yard field goal, one kick for $1 million.
And he is good enough to do it. He legitimately, this guy is probably an 80%er in practice.
But
now,
we have speaking of long kicks, this is going to be a 66-yard attempt if indeed they do kick it. A 66-yard attempt by John Casey, and well, you know, it might have been good from about 53 as the half comes to an end, perhaps serving as a little inspiration for Lance Alstott. So the half ends and the drama begins because the NFC leads by a score of 9-3, and the 26-year-old from Manhattan, Lance Alstott, will go out onto the field. And he's being wished good luck by Larry Nemmers.
Ladies and gentlemen, please don't leave your seats. Right now, at the south end of the field, Lance Alstott, the New York City Bank employee, is going to attempt to win $1 million. By kicking a 35-yard field goal in the $36 million kick. We're going to need everyone, including the AFC and the NFC Pro Bowl players, to give Lance a little support. And now, here's ABC's Al Michaels.
So Lance Alstott is putting it on the tee at the 25, and a lot of the players have remained out on the field to watch this $1 million kick. And here we go as Lance Alstott sets it up at the 25 for a 35-yard attempt. The former soccer player. Good luck, Lance.
And Lance, we are live back in the States, prime time.
And the kick is good. All right, Lance.
There goes Mrs. Lance.
Lance, right now, tell him to show me the money.
Allstott, an unrestricted free agent.
Lance, if I was Lance, my next move might be to get an agent.
How excited he was. His fiance Deborah's here. Yasmin Coleman is here from Hershey Chocolate USA. Lance, do you know what she has in her hand? It's only ceremonial, but you know the number that's on there. $1 million.
Whoa. How many zeros are that? Is that a 6? Lynn, thanks a lot.
All right, now, you've been talking, you're in the banking business. You talked a lot about what you were going to do with this money. Your fiance's right there. Tell us the truth. What are you going to do with the money?
Well, now that everyone has shown me the money, I just want to eat Hershey's, wear Reebok, and drink Pepsi. I'm going to give it to his father. I'm going to start a nice little nest egg, start a wonderful family, and come back to Hawaii all the time for vacation.
And you can afford it on your own now.
Hopefully, yeah.
Lance, congratulations. Take care of yourself. Do well with the money.
Pleasure speaking with you. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Another look, Lance Allstott for $1 million inside the right upright. And John Casey, the first to congratulate him. All of the players remained on the field to watch this. That's great. He's got all the moves down. And back we come. I don't know what we do to top this after this message and a word from our ABC station. Well, Lance Allstott has won $1 million with his 35-yard field goal. And now Entertainment Hawaii style at the Pro Bowl featuring Montel Jordan and his #1 hit song, This Is How We Do It, accompanied by the NFL Pro Bowl cheerleaders. Have a look. Halftime at the Pro Bowl, and when we come back, one of the new Hall of Famers, the great Don Shula, will join us. Hall of Fame in July, Don Shula retiring as the coach of the Dolphins after last season. And Don, some guys don't know if they're going to get in or not get in. In your case, it was very clear you were going into the Hall of Fame. But what was it like for you emotionally when you knew officially you were in?
Well, you know, you'd hope that someday it would happen, but until you get that phone call, you know, you really don't have that tremendous feeling of satisfaction. And when that phone call comes, it just makes it all worthwhile.
Don, when I look at your career, I see you with a dual legacy. What you've done as a coach is easily quantified, and the record speaks for itself. But I think you've been an extremely important man for the sport itself as part of the competition committee, and you've always cared about the game as a whole. Apart from coaching, what do you consider your proudest or greatest accomplishments in football?
Well, I feel that the greatest accomplishment personally was breaking George Halas's record, winning the most games, because it took George Halas a long time to set that record, and many people thought that the record would never be broken. But I was fortunate enough to start early in my coaching career and have a lot of wins early in my coaching career, and then to average about 10 regular season wins a year for 33 years. So that put me in a position to break the record of George Halas. I felt that that was the biggest personal accomplishment, but team accomplishment-wise, 17-0 and back-to-back Super Bowls.
Don, you're in your mid-60s, but you're healthy and you're vibrant. What would it take to get you back on the sidelines to coach?
Well, I've been asked this many, many times.
Aside from permission from Mary Ann, your wife.
That would have to come first, but Mary Ann's all for it. I mean, she understands, I think, that when you step aside after so many years, that there's a void in your life. And I knew that I would miss Sunday afternoons, and that's been what I've missed the most, the competition on game day. I haven't missed some of the other things that some of the things that haven't been very pleasurable during my coaching career, especially the end of my coaching career, but I've missed the competition. In order for me to get interested again in coming back on the field, it would have to be something extraordinary that I felt it was the right thing to do, the only thing to do.
Well, Don, congratulations to you. Always great to visit with you.
Thank you, Al.
Next time we see you, Canton, Ohio, Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Great.
Don Shula, one of the new Hall of Fame inductees. And back we come with the start of the second half from Honolulu after this.
Our ABC station. Aloha Stadium for the 18th consecutive time hosting the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl on a spectacular Sunday afternoon. Temperature in the low 80s. That shot off the beach at Waikiki. And the players have had a good time. The practices have, as you can imagine, not been particularly intense. Drew Bledsoe heating up. The AFC starting quarterback figures to start the second half when the AFC has the ball. But the NFC will receive as we get set to begin the third quarter. 9-3 with the NFC on top. One touchdown in the game as Michael Bates gets set to receive. Jim Schwantz named as a special teamer. Each team elects one special team performer, and Schwantz of the Dallas Cowboys is the guy this year. And John Henry Mills of the Oilers is his counterpart for the AFC, and there he is.
Michael Bates is back deep for the NFC, and up to this point in time in the first half, Isaac Bruce was doing the punt return duties for the NFC. Michael Bates, of course, won bronze medal at the '92 Summer Olympics in Barcelona in the 200 meters, so obviously this guy can scoot.
Chris Gardocki sends it to the 5-yard line. Bates up past the 20, and the one-time Olympic sprinter is up past the 30 and all the way out to the 39-yard line. Got another look at the highlight thus far, and it came at the half. Lance Alstott out of New York City, who plays college soccer, bangs this one through from 35 yards away to win $1 million.
That'd be good from 45, 47 yards, and it was really smacked.
Well, look at the technique. Head down, follow through. Lance into the dance in a hurry.
He may get out of the banking business.
Lance looks like he's got the whole deal, doesn't he? His fiancee Deborah a little less sure of it going in. Good deal.
And on first down, this is Kerry Collins makes his first pass of the game, and it's incomplete. And let's go down to Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Confusion there.
Al, John Casey may have another job as an agent. What did you tell him? You said you said a little prayer for him.
We did. Matt and I both did, and that was exciting. We just coached him up a little bit, and I tell you, he handled the pressure real well, and I was real proud of him. That's a neat deal.
You think he'd have a future in this?
I think he better stay with his day job, but he made more than I did this year, so that was good.
35 yards is supposed to be automatic, isn't it?
That's what they tell us, but kid had a lot of pressure on him, and he came through.
It was tremendous. Thanks, John. Back to you guys.
Okay, Les, as Barry Sanders cannot get on track. He's tackled in the backfield for a loss by Chester McLaughlin. It'll be third down and long. Kerry Collins in the game, another of those named to the game as a replacement for an injured player, and one of 8 Carolina Panthers out of Penn State.
Chester going back to what we saw him the last time we were with the Raiders, and that is jumping that snap count. He times it out beautifully.
Lester, one of the best in the league at anticipating the quarterback's cadence and leaving a half a count early. We just watched him that one ball game in Oakland where he spent the entire game I believe, in Denver's backfield.
3rd down and 12, and that's incomplete and nearly picked off.
I think they have adjusted for the screen as the AFC.
Junior Seau was thinking 6.
Screen very effective for both teams in the first half.
It's going to be a little strange for Junior this training camp, not with Bobby Ross at the helm of the San Diego Chargers. Certainly a familiar face, and Bobby Beathard will still be heading up the show for the Spanos family, but Kevin Gilbride, now the new head coach of the Chargers, and Bobby Ross takes his show to the Motor City.
Matt Turk, who went to school at Wisconsin Whitewater, an institution not under investigation by any special prosecutor, to boom one toward David Meggett.
NFC 1 man short. He hustled back onto the field. Again, we told you the problem with special teams. Most of these players don't play on special teams.
And the kick is fielded at the 3, something you probably wouldn't see during the regular season, but why not, says Dave Meggett. And he runs it back out to the 29-yard line. Good return. Darren Woodson makes the tackle after a 61-yard boot, a 28-yard run back. Early 3rd quarter, NFC by 6. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful rainbow. Something which is almost a daily occurrence in our 50th state.
Aloha.
And mahalo.
It is impossible to get off an airplane here in Hawaii and not just immediately feel better. Something about it.
From the 29-yard line, it is Terrell Davis picking up a couple, and even those who've had hip replacements in the last 5 weeks, i.e. Dan Deardorff, feel a little better.
Well, I think it has something to do with that 60-degree temperature change from whence you came.
What happens when you go through the metal detector?
There's Dan's x-ray right there.
That's about what it looks like. Yeah, I had a hip replacement on December 30th.
But do you set the alarm off now when you go through the...
Yes, I do. I have a little card that says I'm hip.
Yes, you are.
I am titanium.
2nd and 8, and that pass is almost picked off, incomplete. Eric Davis. And let's go down to the field and check in with Lynn Swan. Lynn.
He's a legend on the islands, Don Ho. He's still performing every night. Don, tell us what this game in Hawaii means to everyone here.
Well, this is like a highlight of the year, football year, having the Pro Bowl here, for sure. Yeah.
They embrace this game as their own. They don't want to see it leave.
Oh, they want it every year for the rest of their life over here. Are you kidding? It's great for Hawaii, great for our people, great for everybody, great for the nation. Great for the league. Great for me.
Yeah, this is the only place I ever see the people line up 3 hours before the game and tailgate while they're in line getting into the parking lot.
Yeah, they do it the night before. They're here cooking the night before already.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Don, I've watched you since I was in high school. My first trip to Hawaii. It's good to see you again.
I remember you hanging around the dressing room.
It's not true. I was never there. Al, take this away, please.
You got it, Swanee. You hanging around those tiny bubbles, weren't you, Swanee?
Tiny bubbles.
I remember landing a tutu doing the ballet.
In the wine.
This is Gardocki.
Tiny bubble.
Anything but a Pro Bowl kind of kick. As he,
why was Lynn hanging around the dressing room?
I have no idea. But
Lynn, what's the deal here?
Seriously, Lynn did study ballet.
Did he?
Oh, yeah, and I saw him perform. He's very good.
In a tutu.
I assume Swan Lake was his favorite?
It was. Eric Swan Lake. Back in a minute.
AT&T presents A World Without Limits.
Back in Honolulu on the island of Oahu for the Pro Bowl with 12:53 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Hey, there you go.
The Black Angus in Bakersfield. Tam O'Shanter is what I remember in Bakersfield.
You ever been to the Black Angus?
No, but I'll go.
I'd say you're in, Frank.
I've been to the smokehouse.
Here's the NFC, and this is Barry Sanders taking the ball into AFC territory and forced out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Well, every season the Pro Bowl is the end of the football season. And guys, we're off for 6 months, and we'll wrap up this year and begin next year in about 6 months at the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, late July. Minnesota against Seattle, and the induction of the 4 guys we've talked about today.
Only you would know it's Minnesota and Seattle.
Yes. And I'll tell you, the exact date is July 26th.
You have the time, Eastern time?
It is 2:30 Eastern, as a matter of fact, I think, kickoff. And as always, we get to close it out and we get to start it. And once again, pro football's popularity captures the nation's attention. A wonderful Super Bowl this year, and another good year for us on Monday night. And it ends too quickly for me.
And it ends with the Pro Bowl, Dan. I know you played it in a lot of times. I played it in a lot of times. Al, you've been with us a lot of times. This is a fun game. I think people like to watch it, and it's criticized by a lot of people, I think, unfairly. It's the best players doing what they do the best. Maybe they don't do it the same way, but you still see a lot of great play.
Well, there's one of the best right there. I think all of the all-star games, whether it's football or basketball, baseball or hockey, it's not about who wins the game. It's not about strategy. It's a chance for the fans just to see each of the individual stars and relish their accomplishments.
And you can't, Frank and Al, overestimate how much enjoyment these players have received from being with each other for this past week. They've gotten to know each other better. They've met each other's families. They've met each other's kids. They've learned, that there's more than just a face inside a helmet. They're real people too.
Guys that they tried to obliterate during the season, right. They find out, maybe he's a really pretty good guy. They get to be friends and maybe lifelong friends. I've met so many friends that I have today that I met in Pro Bowls.
Right. But having said that, next year they will still try to obliterate during a game.
That goes with the nature.
And they may, if this game is close at the end, because it's kind of a hang loose sort of week and all of that. But we've noticed in years past, if this game is tight midway through the fourth quarter, it begins to look like a regular season game.
Well, pay for those incidentals, and there's a $10,000 difference, and those hotel incidentals run up.
Oh, there goes Chester again.
Terry Collins before he's taken
They got Chester this time.
Swanee, is there a rejoinder from you, by the way?
Well, yes, there is. I just wanted to clear up that whole thing about hanging around the dressing room of Don Ho's show. I just wanted to let you know that I was doing some extensive research on Polynesian dancing. As you know, I took a lot of dance lessons, tap, jazz, and ballet, and I thought that the island dancing or the Tonganese dancing might be an additional asset in my repertoire. That's all.
Did you try the hula?
Well, I've done the hula. I've tried it. I wasn't very good at it, so I decided to stick to jazz and ballet and tap.
I think that was a good example of tap dancing your way right out of that, Lynn.
Well, thank you very much.
That ballet I spoke of, we saw Lynn on Omnibus.
That was quite a pirouette.
Is Terry Collins handing the ball to Barry Sanders, who sneaks his way down to the 14-yard line. Swanee ever done the Macarena?
Reggie White, a former Pro Bowl MVP. What was it, back in 1988?
Yeah, he's the only guy in this game today who has won a Pro Bowl MVP award.
How about that series he had late in the game in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Consecutive sacks.
After he took that series off, which he likes to do during games, and
which he's been doing
himself.
Been doing for years. Refreshes himself and then comes back in. But that was one of the great series of all times. That hump move of Reggie White's where he throws that arm. Whoa, Barry Sanders again.
Takes it to the 6-yard line.
And Reggie with 165.5 sacks, and they don't count the ones he had in the USFL, and there were 23.5 of those. By far the all-time leader.
Well, since 1982 when they started counting. I still believe Deacon Jones sacked the quarterback more than anyone in the history of professional football.
And so why don't you go tell Reggie that?
Reggie is the first to agree with it.
Really tell you that?
Absolutely. Reggie, I have seen and talked to him before about it, and he readily admits it. The Deacon is the leader.
And Barry Sanders, listening to the Barry Sanders show, scores for the NFC.
Oh, is he fun? I've said it over and over. Travel a long way to see a game that Barry Sanders is playing in. What a classy guy he is, too.
I thought there was a Barry Sanders show.
Very close.
Oh, that's another conglomerate.
And Dom Capers watching his team increase its lead to 13, and he will.
I believe the lead
12 points. He will go for 2 points here to try to make it 14.
Boy, is that classic vintage Barry Sanders. Quick shift to the right, balancing himself with his hand, getting yards that no other back in this game could get today.
15-3 is the score, and so they will go for 2. Will the NFC right here. Terry Collins of the Panthers has Terry Allen and Ricky Waters behind him, and drops the football. And the 2-point conversion is not successful.
And you know, the one thing Barry Sanders is going to get is a coach in Bobby Ross who loves the running game. Barry Sanders may touch the football this year more than he ever has before.
And diving off the rocks.
That was me.
Kaanapali Beach.
Earlier this week.
Yes.
Notice the graceful entry.
Testing out that new hip.
That's exactly right. Remarkable recovery.
John Casey to kick off. NFC is on top by a dozen. This is David Meggett at the 11-yard line, and the New Englander brings it back to the 28. And one of the great interviews of all time is, well, we got a little wrestling.
We actually have a tussle going on.
We had a little pin action here. Kevin Green was involved, but
Kiss and made up.
Kiss and make up. And with Nate Newton, here's Leslie Visser.
Al, he is one of our favorites, Nate Newton. Nate, did I see you playing special teams?
Yeah, I'm on the kickoff return. I'm doing all the kickoff return duties. I'm a major blocker. I take the special team guy that made the Pro Bowl. I take him. You know, I'm a hell of an athlete.
How'd you do blocking for Barry Sanders?
I ain't do too well. One time I was in there, it was for a loss. My man made the tackle.
Hey, Nate, what about back in Dallas? I talked to Troy yesterday, and he said he's seriously considering retiring. What has to change with the Cowboys that a Troy Aikman wouldn't even have that thought?
Just a little discipline. All we got to do is have a little discipline, you know, and carry ourselves in the way that we should be, you know, and everything will be all right. Troy just want to get a point across that we need to stay focused on what we need to do on and off the field to be the great team that we should be.
So you're pretty sure you'll be blocking for him next year?
Yeah, definitely. If he retired, then, hey, man, next thing you know, Mike gone, then Emmett, then, hey, I got to go.
You got to go in. Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, I do. Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Well, now that's cleared up.
Oh, yeah. You know, we ought to make it a regular series with Nate.
Well, Tony Martin put a move on Aeneas Williams. And with the pump fake, Aeneas Williams got the flag, but Tony Martin made the catch and a big play for the AFC.
Both teams staying with that deep pattern with the little square out and down or the little hitch and go, and it's very effective.
Drew Bledsoe, the quarterback, and tosses it back to Curtis Martin. One Patriot tossing it to the other, and Martin takes it to the 22. Let's go back to the Martin catch, the Tony Martin catch.
Watch here. Right here is going to be the pump fake. Aeneas bites all over it, and then he's forced to give him a shove well beyond the 5-yard area.
The reason it's so effective because, as we said from the very beginning, these cornerbacks are stuck man-to-man, and ordinarily they'll get help.
Well, rather than the shove, Aeneas Williams would have been a lot better off if he'd have just tackled Tony Martin, and that would have been the spot right there. One of the best cornerbacks in football, though, Aeneas Williams of the Cardinals.
And on second and short, Martin again takes it to the 14-yard line to move the chains behind a Reuben Brown block, and the AFC knocking on the door now, down by 12 with 7.5 minutes to play in the third period.
Well, they've not been to the promised land yet.
Kevin Green.
Yep. Remember, we saw he was in a tussle with Jerome Bettis. Of course, both of these guys former. Well, they weren't former. They were former teammates at one time back with the Rams, I believe. Nor was Kevin gone by then. Kevin might have been gone to Pittsburgh when Jerome was a rookie with the Rams. We'll have to go to the archives to check that.
Jerome keeps following Kevin around to the 4-yard line. Goes Curtis Martin here.
Our archive, Steve Hurd, of course.
We'll have to check. The key was Kevin Green still with the Rams when Jerome Bettis was a rookie.
But Green has now made the Pro Bowl as a member of 3 different teams: the Rams, the Steelers, and now the Panthers.
Did we decide if anyone else has done that?
Well, yes, there's another guy in this. We got another triple-double in this game here, I believe.
Well, that's what I asked. We'll get into that also.
Yes, get into a lot of stuff. Second down and 1. Try to get out of a few things, too. This is Martin taking it to the 3-yard line, and that's very close to a first down. Kevin Green last played with the Rams in '92, and Jerome Bettis first played with the Rams
in '92. No, it would be '93.
1993.
This is his 4th year, and that would make it 1993. So they didn't play together.
Nope. By God, we've answered that question.
And it was a good point.
And there's just a Monopua shy of a first down, to use a local gastronomical term.
Is that a fish?
Monopua? No, it's like a dumpling delicacy.
I think. It has vegetables. It has some vegetables in it, so I'm not quite sure.
So you've never ordered it either.
No. And they say that he made the first down, so he did pick up that last Manapua. 1st and goal from the 3. And Martin, and he takes it in for the touchdown. So much as Barry Sanders took the NFC into the AFC end zone, Curtis Martin returns the favor against the National Conference.
I think that's what Tom Coughlin had up on the board as blast to right. Split left, blast right. Again, all these plays called verbally with no numbers involved, because a lot of teams are like even numbers on the left, odd numbers on the right, where other teams have odd on the right, even on the odd on the left, and even on the right. If you got that.
Whatever.
So they don't do it.
Now that we've cleared that up.
Oh, yeah. The extra point by Carrie Blanchard is good, and with 5:55 remaining now in the 3rd quarter at the Pro Bowl game, a tight one as the NFC leads the AFC by a score of 15-10.
This is Dick. Dick is a creative superstar and the man behind the advertising you're about to witness. We gave Dick a 6-pack of Miller Lite and a blank piece of paper and asked him to create a Miller Time concept that beer-loving people would like. This is what he did.
Adios, amigo. Adios, my friend. The road we have traveled has come to an end. Adios, amigo. Adios, my friend.
This has been a Miller Time presentation by Dick. Thank you for your time.
What happens when you don't just make something? You invent something.
The Chrysler Cirrus, Concorde, and LHS. Cab forward design. Speed-sensitive steering. Driver adaptive transmission. 4-wheel independent suspension. The Chrysler Cirrus, Concorde, and LHS. The difference between just making something and inventing something. What's new in your world?
The hottest actor of the decade.
Tom Cruise.
The world's most popular author.
John Grisham.
Only ABC has them both. The Firm, ABC Saturday.
The smiling face of Brett Favre, a Super Bowl championship ring will be adorning his finger as soon as they are made up. And right now he's on the winning end in the Pro Bowl. His team on top 15-10 as the AFC kicks off. Blanchard sends it into the end zone. And Michael Bates comes out past the 20. And he's run out of bounds at about the 30-yard line by Ashley Ambrose. And there's a flag down. Only 2 quarterbacks are Prudential Pro Bowl fact. Only 2 QBs have started and won the Super Bowl and the Pro Bowl in the same season. Joe Theismann and Mark Rippon, 2 Redskins. And well, we'll see if Brett Favre can add his name to the list this afternoon.
Derek Thomas.
That's Lamar Latham, I believe.
Lamar Latham.
William Rolfe. William Rolfe, just a tremendous tackle, making his 3rd Pro Bowl appearance and only his 4th year in the league. And what an impact he's had right off the bat.
I remember when you picked him out in his rookie year, Dan.
Oh,
you said he's going to be a great one.
Man alive, what a talent.
Bledsoe throws. Allen makes the, you know, he's a remarkable guy, is William Rolfe. When you look at him, he looks as if he's very studious and intellectual, and he should be.
He is.
His parents are educators. They placed a tremendous premium on education. He's a terrific guy to talk with, and you know, he's one of the last things, despite his size, that you would think about is he's a guy who's in the trenches every week in the NFL.
A nice visit with him in the locker room yesterday. He's a gentleman, is what he is.
2nd down and 5.
Oop, a deflection.
And that's deflected and somehow still caught by Isaac Bruce for a first down. Let's go to Lynn Swan. Swanee.
Well, Jerome, were you and Kevin Green auditioning for WrestleMania? What was the deal out there?
Well, you know, I saw him on TV wrestling, so I wanted to try to take him down and get a little power slam on him. But, you know, after I slammed him, he wanted to get one too, so he slammed me right back.
Now, you guys never played with each other? You kept missing each other?
Oh, we kept missing it. You know, every year, you know, I went to the Rams, he left. I got to the Steelers, he left. So, you know, hopefully I won't go to Carolina, though.
You are a free agent.
I am.
But you don't want to be there. Right?
No, you know, I think I want to stay in Pittsburgh. That's still time.
Stick to bowling.
Okay.
You just saw Barry Sanders tackled in the open field by Rod Woodson after a nice game.
And before that interview, we saw Isaac Bruce catch his 6th pass of the game. And Isaac catching everything. And that's his 2nd deflection of the game that he catches.
A couple more. You're going to be contending for MVP.
The Reverend Ike is his nickname in St. Louis, and he is a genuine talent.
2nd down 4. Sanders again close to a first down.
By the way, we mentioned another player had the distinction of going to Pro Bowls with 3 different teams. That guy's Keith Jackson.
Yes,
the tight end. He went to the Pro Bowl in Philadelphia and Miami.
Did he go in Miami? I did not do it.
And now in Green Bay. So he's done it. And speaking of the devil, there he is. Along with Mark Chmura, make probably the most formidable tight end combination in football.
40 receptions, 10 touchdowns for Keith Jackson. Not bad numbers.
Herman Moore makes the catch and gains about 4 up to the 47-yard line. 2nd down and 6.
Speaking of good numbers, 106 receptions for the year for Herman Moore. 2 shy of Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice not here. He had a pulled muscle and didn't come over.
Yes. He had a groin injury is what's stated on the release. But it doesn't affect your golf.
No,
he's playing in the AT&T Pro-Am this weekend.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I thought I saw Jerry's name in the tee times there at Pebble Beach.
2nd and 6. He's trying to eclipse the mark once set by Dan Marino for being named to the Pro Bowl and playing in the AT&T.
No, the guy who set the record is Fran Tarkenton.
Yes.
I don't know that Fran Tarkenton ever actually played in a Pro Bowl, and he was elected to many.
Announced one once.
Tiger Woods again sensational. Pebble Beach yesterday, 1 shot off the course record. He and Kevin Costner attracting quite a crowd.
Bring me some grapes.
3rd down and 2. And that's tipped and incomplete at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down.
A lot of people have to play out of positions that they ordinarily play during the year. Eric Williams being over in the left side for the NFC, where he ordinarily would line up on the right side with Dallas. It's a little awkward too, isn't it, Dan? You get
it's very awkward.
Hand down and
very awkward. And you know, the last time we saw Eric Williams was during the playoff game when they beat the Vikings, and he had a extremely serious criminal charge that was being bantered about as to whether or not he was involved in something, and it turned out that he was wrongfully accused. So I imagine there's a guy that's very much looking forward to a peaceful offseason.
Matt Turk angles one that bounces at the 2 and takes a perfect bounce for him and is down at about the 2-yard line. Matt Turk of the Washington Redskins. Irving Fryer down there at the 2 to down it with 2:06 to go in the 3rd. Nationals up by 5.
If we all settled for good enough, would things ever be good enough?
The luxurious Chrysler LHS. Cab forward design, speed-sensitive steering, independent touring suspension, 8-way power seats, personal security system, and now get a lease for just $359 a month. The Chrysler LHS. This goes way beyond good enough. What's new in your world?
1874, the first transatlantic cable connecting Ireland and America. It was made by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, phone companies and businesses use Siemens switches to send and receive voices, images, and data together for desktop video conferencing, wireless communications, and high-speed internet access. Siemens technologies keep you in touch and on top. Siemens, precision thinking.
I enjoy going across the middle. Ooh. Intense. 60, 70,000 people are just screaming. Things just don't happen the way you expect. Do you ever get used to it? No.
The Pro Bowl in Honolulu. Lovely Wahine.
I like the screens.
That was not me.
No, we have a fourth guy in the booth right now. Lance Alstott, America's newest millionaire, has joined us. The man who made the 35-yard field goal.
I feel pretty good about it.
What did you bring with you?
Well, I brought the ball that I stuck through the uprights just about 15 minutes ago.
You know,
it's been a little juiced up. Yeah, we don't want. That's why I don't let too many people hold it. So
what do they do? Put it in the refrigerator.
It's titanium. It's really light. You know.
Lance, that ball started a little to the right. Was it just enough to get you excited a little bit?
It's all part of the plan. John Casey and I worked out that scenario for the past 2 days because I have this natural soccer.
Well, here, we're going to take a look at it.
You haven't seen the replay yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Lance, we're going to give you a chance.
Okay,
Call
now
your
I'm
own.
approaching. I'm hitting the ball. I'm playing it to the right goalpost, as John Casey recommended. It's starting to hook a little bit to the left, as you can see, and the thing just goes in. There's my ham dance. It's called the ham dance. I'm working it around, and I'm saying, show me the money.
How far would that have gone? I said 45 at least, 47.
Maybe 45. I mean, I hit it pretty good, I thought.
What's the best you've ever done?
High school, I hit a 45-yard field goal in the game to beat our rival high school 3-0.
Did you get any money for that?
No, but I got a lot of new friends.
That was as good an analysis as I've ever heard of a field goal. You can maybe go to a camp next year as an unrestricted free agent. You can get into the broadcasting business or stay in investment banking, right?
I think all three sound great. We'll just have to work out my schedule.
That's right. And when's the marriage date of the?
It's going to be November 8th in New York City. My beautiful bride, Deb Zimmerman.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. I want to say hi to all my friends at
That was great.
House.
That's terrific.
All right,
that was
take
great.
care, guys.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Nice seeing you.
Be good. Okay. It is Vinny Testaverde rolling and finding an open man, but Ben Coates can't haul it in. It's incomplete. And it'll be fourth down. So the third quarter winding down here with 47 seconds remaining, and the NFC on top by a score of 15-10.
And the sun no longer on the field here at Aloha Stadium. The lights are on. A 3 o'clock local start here. It's now about 25 minutes after 5 here in Hawaii, and we'll get to see Isaac Bruce if he can muster up some type of a return.
Calls for a fair catch despite having a lot of room to roam. Just calls it in at the 42-yard line. Barry Sanders, a perennial visitor to the Pro Bowl, and he's with Leslie Visser. Les.
He is, Alan. You know what he just told me? He doesn't think in his 8 Pro Bowls he ever scored before. Barry, is that true?
Yeah, I think so. Before, I would try to play as little as possible, and I was pretty successful doing that. So I don't think I played long enough to score, actually.
Well, you said you just like to go home healthy, and now you're going home to a new coach. What have you heard about Bobby Ross?
I heard he's a solid guy. You know, obviously his coaching record speaks for itself. Everybody's happy to have him. Some of the guys on the team have played for him before.
Has he gotten in touch with you?
Yeah, he called me. We talked briefly, and you know, I'm looking forward to having him as a coach.
Well, the guy won a college title and got to the Super Bowl, and you probably got the right man there. Kevin Glover, didn't he talk to you? Because, of course, he played for him at Maryland.
Yeah, Kevin had only good things to say about him. In fact, before they gave Bobby the job, Kevin was raving about him and really was expecting and hoping that we hired him.
Great. Well, if anyone deserves a Super Bowl ring, it's you, Barry. Thanks. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Les. Well, Barry may not remember it, but he did score as we research it in the 1991 Pro Bowl. A 22-yard run.
Wouldn't it be nice?
How nice of you to remember
and not be able to remember a 22-yard touchdown?
Yeah, really. He scored a few.
And how amazing Al just picks that right off the top of his head like that.
massive, massive research. End of 3, NFC 15, AFC 10. We'll return to Honolulu after this from our ABC stations.
Thursday, ABC is the Action Broadcasting Company.
I don't believe this!
The boys are back. Eddie Murphy, Judge Reinhold, Bronson Pinchot. The network television premiere of Beverly Hills Cop 3. ABC Thursday. Parental discretion advised.
Things are heating up at your favorite Ford dealer, because now the savings are even hotter, like Ford Taurus. For a limited time, get $1,000 to $1,500 cash back, or low 1.9% financing. That's $1,000 to $1,500 cash, or 1.9 financing on America's best-selling car. Taurus earned the Insurance Institute's highest crash protection rating. Ford Taurus, one hot car with one really hot deal. See your favorite Ford dealer. There's more to afford.
On days like this, MCI can see to it that every one of your employees makes it to work, even if they don't make it to the office. Telecommuting by MCI.
I don't shower before work. I email over oatmeal. I take conference calls in my pajamas. I document conference, I page, I fax. I get tons done. I still don't shower.
How to get a perfect smile, tomorrow at 10.
Well, Clear and Present Danger airs tomorrow night here on ABC in primetime. Harrison Ford and our buddy Ann Archer. Those residuals coming in tomorrow night right here. Clear and Present Danger. And down, it is intercepted by Ashley Ambrose. And the Cincinnati Bengal, who had 8 picks during the regular season, runs it back into the score.
And now the AFC is in the lead.
New leader.
Hello. Gary Collins trying to hit Irving Fryer, and he got fried.
Hey, that's kind of a dangerous move by Ambrose. Now, he's been beat 2 or 3 times deep by going for that first move. This time, timed it out beautifully.
Between a new quarterback and a new receiver, you'd think the out pattern might be the most difficult one to time out.
Well, they give Ambrose a lot of credit. He has seen a lot of out and downs on him today, and nevertheless, he either sensed or somehow read the play. Here's the move to the outside by Fryer, and a good break on the ball by Ambrose.
He was all over that. Well, all of a sudden, a football game that the NFC seemed to have firmly in its grasp is now turned into a trailing position. And ahead by only 1 point, you would now suspect that they'll go for 2, the AFC, try to give themselves a 3-point lead.
No Cincinnati Bengal had ever scored a touchdown in a Pro Bowl game until just then, as Ambrose runs it back to the score. 2-point conversion attempt was incomplete. Vinny Testaverde can't hook up in the end zone with Carl Pickens of the Bengals. But the other Bengal nets them 6 and gives the AFC the lead by 1.
This is going to be fantastic. A week of fishing. Only one way in and one way out. Peter would have loved this. Too bad he hates to fly. Peter's a wimp. Peter? How was the in-flight movie?
The new Ford Expedition. The only way to get there.
I really do have dandruff, so I did it. I took the Dinerex test. Dinerex tingled. Head and shoulders, nothing.
All these have effective dandruff medicine, but Dinerex has something extra that tingles, feels fresh.
You won't see me scratching my head in Miami.
Dinerex, the serious dandruff shampoo.
Things break every day.
They shatter.
They fall.
They spill.
They smash.
They break down every day.
So we thought it might be nice to keep our prices low every day on things you might need every day. We understand you can't wait for a 3-day weekend for things to go on sale.
Because things don't wait for a 3-day weekend to break.
True Value. Help is just around the corner.
Coaches, team, media, all eyes are looking at me.
We asked some of the NFL's hottest rookies to try Degree.
Body heat activated.
As your body heat rises, Degree releases extra protection when you need it most.
As I work harder, Degree works harder.
Degree, for an extra degree of protection.
Good evening. Coming up tonight, a mysterious gas odor in the suburbs, the latest on efforts to find the cause. Also 45 in Seattle, Michael's big game. Join us after the Pro Bowl.
At the Pro Bowl in Honolulu, Al Michaels with Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, Lynn Swan, and Leslie Visser.
That two-point conversion there really thwarted nicely by Ken Harvey, the linebacker, who got a hand on that football before Carl Pickens could catch it for an easy two.
AFC up by a point now as Gardocki kicks off, and this is Bates swinging to the outside, breaking tackles along the way, and finally hauled down at the 29.
Well, we at ABC Sports mourn the loss of Les Weiss, one of our technical managers who died Friday while on assignment here in Hawaii. He had just completed the Battle of the Gridiron and was in preparation for the Hawaiian Open golf telecast. Les was a member of the ABC family for over 30 years, and we will truly miss him. Our condolences go out to his wife, Lee, and their two sons.
Yeah, a good man, and through the years at ABC, worked a number of shows with
we do have quite a team here too, and something like that happens, it comes from the heart. So Lee, all of our condolences during this tough time for you.
From the 30-yard line, Gus Farad on first down throws incomplete, intended for Irving Fryer, and there are 3 flags down, 3 flags in the secondary. Larry Nemmers calling the game today, and everybody saw that there was an ineligible man downfield. No,
everybody but Larry.
Yeah, everybody but me. That's right. Lynn Swan, what you got, Lynn?
Well, I've got Ashley Ambrose here, and tell me about that interception real quick.
It was an out route, and I read it, and the ball got there a little late, and I just stepped in front of it and took it to the house.
Now, Ashley, would you be surprised to know that touchdown was the first touchdown ever scored by a Bengal in Pro Bowl history?
Yes, I will be.
Well, then you're surprised.
Well, hey, it's time for something to happen.
Yeah. A lot of changes happening in Cincinnati. Give us your take on what's going to happen in 1997.
Well, I'm looking forward to a great year. You know, we got a new defense coordinator. We're going to have to learn the defense, and Bruce Collins has done a tremendous job with us, and hopefully we can be a great team, a contender next year.
All right, good luck to you. We'll see you down the road.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ashley. Celebrate that touchdown.
Oh, yeah, I will. I will.
All right, thank you, Lynn. Ashley playing a great straight man in that interview.
Great season for him, too. Also, 8 interceptions.
Here's Farad pump faking and going deep, but too deep, intended for Chris Carter.
Well, that's that move by Chris Carter there that I was surprised that Ashley Ambrose would make that strong move on Irving Fryer for that touchdown, because we've seen this the entire game, the out and up. And for a cornerback, these cornerbacks are playing a straight man for man. That's the required because of the ruling that does not allow you to have to play it straight away. You can roll to one receiver with the deep safety, with the strong safety, but those cornerbacks today are going mostly man for man.
3rd down and 3.
Not Woodson there, number 26. He'll take a chance on it.
And Farad under pressure and finally goes down, and Farad is sacked by Michael Dean Perry and Cortez Kennedy.
Is that our first sack today?
I believe so. Michael Dean Perry is one of 5 guys in this game who played their college ball at Clemson. It's a pretty good representation. There's also a flag down on that last play.
I think it's the highest number of players from one school in today's Pro Bowl.
That's remarkable, isn't it?
It's Terry Allen, Levon Kirkland, Chris Gardocki, Michael Dean Perry, and Chester McLaughlin all went to Clemson.
Dom Capers went to Mount Union.
Yeah. Dom Capers last year had his team playing at Clemson as their home stadium.
Interesting, both these coaches, Tom Coughlin and Don Capers, have never been associated with the Pro Bowl with any of the teams they've been with.
The defensive team had an illegal defense on the play. That's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
We didn't get it either, Tom.
We didn't get it.
Well, I think this came from the booth upstairs where Jack Reeder, the NFL observer here, who has the ability to call a penalty from upstairs, hits the AFC with an illegal defense.
Yeah. This is like the NBA.
Jack Reeder, the supervisor of officials. Dave Levy, the longtime assistant with the Detroit Lions, is also here assisting Jack Reeder. And again, they're making sure that some of the rules that we've talked to you about are enforced.
I think they ran a line stunt. I think they ran a looping line stunt, which you're not allowed to do in this game. And they ended up with the sack, and they got their hand slapped.
Farrakh giving the ball to Ricky Waters, who picks up a couple up to the 44-yard line.
Usually you find the team late in the game, and like we are now in the fourth quarter, with $10,000 on the line between each player. And that begins to be a lot of money here late in the game, and you'll find the team that is trailing will get into some sort of a violation of those rules, Dan.
Hey, I played in this game where there were line stunts the first play of the game.
Well,
there was bad blood.
They've been calling a lot more frequently, though.
For a number of years, I used to line up at right tackle, and Conrad Dobler would line up at right guard beside me, and we would be faced across from Joe Green and L.C. Greenwood, and it was a war. And we did what we had to do, and they did what they wanted to do, and back then there was nobody upstairs watching it to call a penalty.
Well, that was Chester McLaughlin, wasn't it? I think, coming across the line of scrimmage. Chester always trying to jump that ball, trying to read the count with the quarterback. We talked about it earlier.
Good look there at Will Shields, a talented guard from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Second down 3 now from the 49-yard line, and this is Larry Centers to the 50-yard line, and let's go to Leslie Visser. Les.
Well, here's another guy Dan Dierdorf wouldn't have wanted to line up against, Kevin Green. Kevin, this is your 4th Pro Bowl. You're here with half your team. What does being in the Pro Bowl mean?
It's tremendous because you're elected by the fans and the coaches and the other players as being one of the best in the NFL. So this is really a blessing to be here.
This must have been an emotional time for your dad as a retired colonel in the Army, and didn't you go to Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, we toured Pearl Harbor yesterday. My dad, my brother, and the whole family, and it's a very humbling experience. It really is.
What did he tell you were his memories of Vietnam?
You know, he doesn't talk about it a much. It really had an effect on him.
And what about for you in Carolina? You guys came so close this year. What's the one missing ingredient?
You know, we just have to come together and mature as a team. We need home field advantage. Home field advantage just means so much heading into playoffs.
Well, it certainly meant so much in Green Bay. Thanks a lot, Kevin.
Why'd you bring up Green Bay?
Oh, sorry. No,
come on, what's up with that? Headbutt. Thanks a lot.
Oh, here's your helmet.
And there is Sam Mills, the oldest guy in the game, Lamar Lathan, who came over from Houston, and all 3 linebackers starting in the Pro Bowl. That last catch was made by another Panther, Wesley Walls, and now Ricky Waters takes the ball to the 38-yard line with the NFC down by a point, but on the move here.
I know it's a cliche to when you constantly, maybe refer to people as throwbacks, but there is no question that Kevin Green would have been very comfortable in the 50s or the 40s or the 30s or whenever. He's just one of those people that just loves this game so much.
He loves life. He
has a huge following.
He has a great time. Oh, got a great sense of humor.
Long hair, short hair, makes no difference.
Second down and 5. Larry Centers of the Cardinals. Nice slip move there. And the only running back in history to catch 100 passes in a season as a first down at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, I say long hair ago and 99 this year. That's how they use him. That's how they did with Jim Fassel. And Jim, of course, has gone to the Giants.
Long hair, short hair, it makes no difference. It's when you get the no hair, then it does make a difference. Lomas Brown told me yesterday in the locker room, we have got to get number 37 back. We can't succeed without Larry Centers in our offense. He just is that big a part of the Cardinals offense. It's almost unthinkable for them not to have him.
And it's not fair to describe him as only a receiver. He does everything with Cardinals. He's a good blocker, a good running back. But a superb receiver.
Remember that game he turned in when we were out there Christmas night at the end of the '95 season, leaping over people?
Remember the cowboy he hurdled.
Oh, that's exactly right.
Cardinals were going nowhere, but he was giving it 110%.
Yeah, they played that game. It was Christmas night, 1995.
Yep, that was the
and they actually shot all that footage. A lot of that footage ended up in the movie Jerry Maguire.
It certainly did.
We stole that show.
Yeah, we stole that show, and Cruz stole all the money as it's taken for a gain of 9 down to the 27-yard line. Larry centers.
If he appreciates us getting him the Golden Globe like that.
Doesn't even know our names.
No, he was really a nice guy.
He was a nice.
Called you Don and me Sam.
My daughters were thrilled that I just met him. That's my stock soared immeasurably.
Third down and 5. The NFC at the AFC 22-yard line with 8:48 remaining in the fourth quarter. AFC on top, 16-15. And that's incomplete through the hands of Irving Fryer. And covering on the play was Tyrone Braxton of the Denver Broncos, another guy in his 10th year, but playing in his first Pro Bowl.
That had a lot on it. Irving Fryer coming off the best season in his 13-year career with 88 receptions. Most he had prior to that was 73, and for the Dolphins back in '94. And Irving Fryer with a tremendous year for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, the AFC went for 2 and missed it, and now they have only a 1-point lead.
This is a 40-yard field goal attempt to try to put the National Conference back on top. And Casey's kick is hooking and going wide.
Where's Lance when you need him?
Yeah.
Maybe Casey should have spent a little more time working with himself.
No question. Or listening to Lance. 8:33 left in the fourth. The American Conference still up by 1.
This is Dick. Dick is a creative superstar and the man behind the advertising you're about to witness. We gave Dick a 6-pack of Miller Lite and a pencil and asked him to come up with a Miller Time concept that beer-loving people would like. This is what he came up with. This has been a Miller Time presentation by Dick. Thank you for your time.
This is Ford Escort. Did you know that it's new? If you knew that it's new, did you know the wagon's new too? The engine is new, the suspension improved. A safety cell protects but stays out of view. It's quieter inside to shush out the out. But for those who simply must twist and shout, there's premium speakers on a new stereo, so you can get every note and get it to go. This Escort is great. This Escort is nice. This Escort has a very sensible price. So why not check out the newest Escort this season? We've given you every rhyme and rhymed every reason.
Europe skating champions take the ice in special performances. Saturday at 4:30 on Wide World.
The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
A reminder, you can check out the Pro Bowl recap and highlights from the Monday Night Football season on ABCMNF.com. And you can follow all of the off-season news in preparation for the 1997 player draft on your computer at NFL.com. From the 30-yard line, the AFC has the football, and this is Vinny Testaverde at quarterback and Terrell Davis for a pickup of 2, and back to Leslie Visser.
Al, the NFL Teacher of the Year this year is Betsy Capalilla, who taught Sam Gash. What did you teach Sam?
Geometry.
How was he?
He was a good student.
Well, he turned out to be a great running back for the Patriots. Congratulations to you, Betsy. As an educator, President Clinton wants to be known as the education president. What do you think he should be doing for teachers?
I think he should be working on equity of pay for teachers at all levels. And I think the national certification that he's already he proposed is a good step in the right direction.
Well, I think it's tremendous, don't you, also, that the NFL acknowledges the positive role model like Sam Gash.
Oh, yes. I think there's more positive in education than negative. It's working more than it isn't working.
Great. Well, congratulations to you. Back to you, Al.
Okay, thank you, Les, as the AFC has picked up.
Well done,
Not
Les.
quite a first down. 3rd down and inches to the 40-yard line. That last carry by Terrell Davis.
We have a lot of the NFL family here today. Ed and Virginia McCaskey. Ed and Virginia McCaskey for the Bears are here, and they are celebrating their 54th anniversary. Congratulations,
nice.
Ed, Virginia.
And this is Terrell Davis looking for that first down and comes close, and I think he has it. And Marty Schottenheimer came over with his wife, Pat, just to kind of hang out and go to Maui and celebrate their 30th anniversary, the Kansas City coach.
Fun Hall of Fame party last night.
That was a fun one. And you know, part of the reason Marty is also just a huge fan of Don Shula's and an old friend, and here to kind of help Don celebrate his election into the Hall of Fame. Marty Schottenheimer, one of the good people in this game.
And second in seniority now in terms of working with the same team.
And he and Carl Peterson just re-up. They're going to be in Kansas City for, what, 4 more years?
And they're, you're wondering as well if they're looking for a quarterback. Jeff George is in the marketplace right now, and a lot of the speculation centers around either the Chiefs or the Raiders winding up with Jeff George.
Has he visited Kansas City yet? Didn't we read somewhere that he had? Be interesting to see where he stops next.
2nd and 9 from the 41-yard line as Testaverde throws, and that's caught by Ben Coates, but he is wrestled down by Eric Swan upon reception.
Nice job by Eric Swan, a defensive tackle out in coverage on a tight end. That's some pretty good athleticism and range by Eric Swan. One of talk about a minority in the NFL. Eric Swan did not attend college, did not play college football. I remember when the Cardinals drafted him #1, and a lot of eyebrows were raised about who is this guy. And boy, has he blossomed into a dominating player.
3rd down. Well, it's gotten better through the years, but there have been a few guys in the league who did not attend college, even though they played college football.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of guys who went to college for 4 years and didn't attend class.
But things have gotten better.
Well, they have gotten better because graduation rates are right now something that every college coach in America, it's a statistic that he's held accountable for every day. It's important in their recruiting. And
let's call it a work in progress.
Well, it's not there yet, but it's a whole lot better than it used to be.
Here's Gardocki punting, and hauling it in at the 14-yard line is Darrell Green. And the ageless wonder is out of bounds up at the 22, and that's where the NFC will begin its next push with only 5:08 left in the game, and the American Conference on top by a score of 16-15.
Darrell Green used to do that when he came up as a #1 draft pick from Texas A&I 14 years ago.
Oh, look at that. Vertigo. Isn't that spectacular?
This way to Honolulu. Eastbound or Diamond Head bound.
Takes you right to Aloha Stadium where early evening approaches.
Yes, it does.
Just adjacent to Pearl Harbor. Spectacular view from here in the stadium.
It is. Our booth is situated we're right at the 50-yard line, and we look out at obviously the playing field. If we just walk 5 feet out the back of our booth, we get a magnificent view of Pearl Harbor. Look right at the Arizona Memorial. This is a spectacular scene.
The stadium's been open about 20 years now, and as we said before, has hosted this game every year since 1980. But there's a bit of a competition going on. Orlando, Florida wants to host this game. So does the Phoenix area, and Honolulu clearly wants to retain it. It's something the league is going to have to deal with. Paul Tagliabue was over and met with the governor this week, and Paul, in fact, is on his way to San Diego to discuss next year's Super Bowl with some of the San Diego business leaders tomorrow. Some question as to whether the Super Bowl is going to be played in San Diego next year, contingent upon how a judge rules in regard to a vote that determines whether that stadium will be funded sufficiently for expansion.
Well, Jack Murphy Stadium is already partially dismantled, and the process has already begun. And now the question is, will there be enough money left to finish it in time for the Super Bowl?
First down from the 22-yard line, and that's incomplete. So that's a pressing issue right now for the commissioner, who's on his way to Southern California. Lynn Swan, what you got, Lynn?
Well, I've got Rod Woodson standing over here, and we talked to Jerome Bettis about his free agency. You're also a free agent. Have the Steelers talked to you? Where do you stand?
Yeah, to my knowledge, to this point in the offseason, they haven't talked to me. And, you know, if they will, I have no idea. I have no idea until they contact my agent, Eugene. And hopefully they will. If they don't, then I have to take all the options to take care of my family and myself.
Is it a little disappointing the fact that they haven't come to you and made an offer at this point?
I'm hurt. You know, I think that you know, I gave 10 good years with those guys, and you know, I wish they would come to me and make me an offer that is reasonable in the marketplace. But to this point, they haven't.
Another guy on your defensive unit, Chad Brown, is also a free agent. They gave a lot of money to Greg Lloyd last year. Looks like they're going to give some money to the Bettis. Do the Steelers have enough room under the cap to get all of you guys signed?
Well, you know, since it's a smaller market, maybe not. But you know, I think that somewhere along the line, I think they have to truly care about a team and getting to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. And I think, you know, with all the athletes we have had come through Pittsburgh, I think once they make that real concerted effort, I mean, deep down inside, not, you know, not on the top level, make it look like, yeah, we won it, but not really. You know, but I think once they make that concerted effort to do that, we'll go back to Super Bowl very easily and win it.
The kind of moves they made financially in terms of letting a guy like Neil O'Donnell go, does that stick in the back of your head?
Well, not really. You know, the Jets offered Neil a lot of money, and you know, Pittsburgh thought they just couldn't do that to keep their core players there. This year they got 10 free agents. More than that, restricted. And, you know, it's going to be, they got to make some wise moves on their part, and hopefully they'll do that.
Well, what I'm hearing from you, even though you've become ingrained in the Pittsburgh community, you've got a restaurant that has your name, and let's say make the right offer to you, you'll entertain others.
Well, I think you have to as a player. You know, I think the Steelers really have to make a concerted effort to go after everybody very hard. If they don't do that, a lot of players are going to leave.
Certainly losing a Rod Woodson would make it very difficult for them to get back into a Super Bowl.
Well, I really wouldn't want to leave. I really don't. My family's there. You know, my home is there. But, you know, you have to make some tough decisions sometimes in your life.
All right, Rod, thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Ron.
All right, Len. Well, Rod Woodson, 10 years with the Steelers and expressing some disenchantment as to the way he's been dealt with. The guy who was named the NFL's all-time team on the 75th anniversary a couple of years ago. Chris Carter makes the catch here on a 2nd and 10 up to the 38, and that's a first down. Our Pro Bowl coverage is being brought to you by the new Ford Expedition, the only way to get there. Rogaine, medically proven to regrow hair for men and women. And Miller Lite reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time.
Well, I think Rod Woodson said one thing. He said, I've given them 10 good years. And of course, what that means is next year would be his 11th season playing cornerback, a position not known for its longevity.
And 2 years after an ACL.
That's right. It's you know, it's there's where the real business of this game starts to surface. A lot of things are going to factor into the re-signing of a Rod Woodson. I don't have any question that if there was an unlimited cap, the Steelers would be more than happy to sign Woodson. But, you know, are they going to allocate money to the younger players and maybe have to sacrifice someone who's older? It's a tough call for the Steelers for sure.
2nd and 1 after that last catch by Irving Fryer, the NFC at the 48-yard line.
Oh, yes.
And for Rod, great pump fake has Carter wide open at the 20-yard line. Touchdown to put the NFC on top again.
We've been talking about it the entire game. Again, the little pump fake this time, very effective by Farrat.
I think it's Terry McDaniel.
Terry McDaniel biting all the way on it, and Carter just kicking it in another gear.
Terry McDaniel is truly one of the fine corners in this game. But how do you spell smoked?
Well, they're so unused not to having help to the inside or having somebody helping them. They usually, when they're in strictly a man-for-man coverage during the regular season, they have a blitz on, and their time is a factor. but not here today because of the rules.
There's the pump. McDaniel bit all over it, and you can already see he's 7 or 8 yards behind Chris Carter. Eric Turner tries to get there, but no way he can cover the sideline from a safety position.
And the NFC will now go for 2 since the lead is 5.
And Gus Frerotte, who's here as an alternate, finds himself pretty prominent position.
And the one-time Tulsa Hurricane throws, and that is hauled in the back of the end zone by Wesley Walls.
All right, Wesley coming off a great year, 61 receptions.
And the NFC is up by 7 now. The National Conference on top, 23-16, 4:07 left in regulation.
See what I saw?
Unbelievable.
Did you see what I saw?
It is getting so crowded around here.
We're out of here.
The new Ford Expedition that seats up to 9 and tows more than anything in its class. Ford Expedition, the only way to get there.
This is Dick. Dick is a creative superstar and the man behind the advertising you're about to witness. We gave Dick a 6-pack of Miller Lite and a typewriter and asked him to create a Miller Time concept. Dick said, okay, but only if his best friend Jimmy could check the product out first. Watch this.
Gotta check it out, check it. Test it. Make sure it's alright, test it. Test it. Make sure it's alright, test it. Making sure it's good. Gotta check it out. I've got to check it out. I've got to check it out. I've got to test it out. Make sure that it's alright. Check it out. Test it out. Check it out.
This has been a Miller Time presentation by Dick. Thank you for your time.
This week, it's extraordinary, amazing secrets of memory and aging revealed by new science only on ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Once released for $100, put on waivers, Chris Carter has been a magnificent buy.
Buddy Ryan, the Philadelphia Eagles, didn't think Chris Carter was the man.
Right. He has been spectacular for the Minnesota Vikings after Buddy said, see you later, or aloha.
Yes. And Chris said mahalo.
That's very much.
David Meggett is going to run this one back.
Oh, he's exciting.
37-yard line. And let's go to Leslie Visser again. Leslie.
Al, here's a man who Drew Bledsoe did not want to see today. 3 sacks a week ago in the Super Bowl. Did you get near him today, Reggie?
Well, I got near him a little bit, 1 or 2 times.
Reggie, you were just saying before that you were actually too drained to cry after the Super Bowl. Why is that?
Yeah, it was really hot in the dome, and it was so emotional, and us getting a victory. We were just too tired to really get real emotional.
What do you think that visibility from the Green Bay Packers and from winning the Super Bowl can do for you and the things you're trying to accomplish?
I think it gives me an opportunity, of course, to share the gospel. And I think in sharing the gospel, we have to create opportunities. We're about to strike a deal with the city of Indianapolis and the state of Indiana to do 3-on-3 basketball facilities, and we want to stem other businesses from that to create business opportunities for the people in the community. So that's the exciting part about it.
Well, Chris Carter's a great basketball player. You might want to round him up.
Yeah, I got to round him up. Yeah.
Thanks, Reggie. Congratulations on quite a year. Back to you guys.
Okay, Les, it's 2nd down and 10 after Ben Coates was on the other end of that pass, and Merton Hanks provided the coverage.
Merton Hanks provided spectacular coverage. Watch this play by Merton Hanks. Brunell on the roll, delivers it right to Coates, but look at Hanks.
Took an arm out of there.
Yep, comes around with his left arm and pulls down the left arm of Coates.
The right arm, of course, could have drawn a flag, but it didn't.
2nd and 10.
Textbook coverage.
37-yard line. They set up a middle screen. Goes to Meggett. And the New England Patriot has the ball at the 49-yard line in NFC territory, and flag is down.
Dave Meggett, of course, having extended his career under his Giants coach, Bill Parcells. When Bill went to New England, he was one of the players he wanted.
Well, look at this. This is a face mask penalty against the NFC, which will advance the ball even further. And all 3 timeouts remaining for the AFC. Lots of time to get in the end zone.
I think it was on William Thomas of the Eagles.
Only the 5-yard. He took it off. He didn't drag him down by it, and thus only the 5-yard version of the face mask penalty. Spots it at the 45.
Garden variety face mask.
That's exactly right.
First down, AFC at the 45. And Frank, you mentioned the Giants. The Giants and the Jets, 2 of the 4 teams without a player in this game. Neither team has had a guy in the Pro Bowl for the last 2 years. Atlanta does not have a player in this year. And amazingly, the Chicago Bears have not had a player in the Pro Bowl for the last 3 years.
That is surprising.
And, you know, then they've had a relative amount of success. So he wants that, must be doing a pretty good job if they don't have anybody good enough to go to the Pro Bowl for 3 years.
Well, they've had some product. Curtis Conway's given them a lot of productivity, but the competition at wide receiver in this league is so stiff. You got to be a triple-digit receiver to get a look at this game.
3rd and 7. Obviously, the communication system that was set up for the AFC not working today. So Tom Coughlin going to the walkie-talkie. Dom Capers with the more conventional communication. But Dom, the difference with Dom is that Dom's always keeping those copious notes during the game, but not today. 3rd down and 7. And Brunel guns one, and that's broken up. And another nice play turned in by Merton Hanks.
I think Merton that time was looking for the hanky.
This is a big series for Merton Hanks.
Oh, he got another hand as he reached around. But again, no flag. These 2 coaches have both done remarkable jobs. Let's take a look. Did Hanks get in there with the hand? Oh, might have been just a little bit the right arm.
They'll give you that one on the back as long as you don't move him.
Depends on the mood they're in.
Yeah. Well, this brings up 4th down.
4th and 7 with 2:50 to go in the 4th quarter. Looking to convert. Brunel tip, batted, incomplete. Tipped by Bryant Young of the 49ers, a guy who was down on the field for several minutes in that 49er-Packer playoff game. A lot of concern as to his injury, and as it turned out, it was nothing serious, and quite obviously it's nothing serious as he's playing today.
Well, with all 3 timeouts remaining and 2 minutes and 43 seconds left on the clock, if the AFC doesn't give the NFC a first down, they will get the ball back. They will get one more try if they can keep the NFC from getting a first down.
Keep in mind, the winning players take away 20,000, the losers take away 10. And like we said at the beginning of this game, that starts to make a big difference here in the late moments.
Of course, Lance took away $1 million.
Yep. Lance Allstott.
Spread over what, 30 years?
30 years.
Yeah, it's a little deceptive.
This is Larry Centers to the 50. That pays a few bills, though, for the next 3 decades.
That's like leaving the almonds out.
I'm sure Lance isn't complaining.
No, it's plenty of almond joy, believe me.
I think that's a different company, Al.
Oh, it is. Okay, well, we blanket the earth here. What can I tell you?
How are you to know?
Yes.
Brett, well, at least Brett stayed to the end of the game. We'll give him credit for that. We've had a few guys leave early over the years.
Yep.
Well, he's got a plane to make too, doesn't he?
So, Wani, what's happening, Lynn?
The guys who have played a lot of Pro Bowls, he's played in his first. He's playing right tackle and left tackle. I want to know your take on this game now as we wind it down.
I like playing left tackle a lot better, man. It's ugly over there at right side, but I'm having fun, playing against great players, and it's been a good time.
Playing against great players. You had a great game against Bruce Smith, and a lot of offensive linemen make reputations when they go up against the best, and they can handle them.
Well, that was just I'm glad we won that game, and Bruce Smith's a great player, and that's how you do make a name against yourself, play solid, and he's such a great player. He's been in this game a lot of times. He's supposed to be here this week, and I just happy that I had a good game against him, and hopefully I'll be consistent next year also.
You had a chance to play with Bruce Matthews, went to USC. He's got 12 years of experience on you and about 8 more Pro Bowls than you. Was this a good place for you to learn and pick up some new trades?
Well, I was picking his brain a little bit, you know, just talking to him what the game was going to be like, about, you know, the old days and about SC. And it's been a lot of fun talking to Bruce, and hopefully it's a guy I keep in touch with over the years and pick his brain even more next year.
All right. You feel okay about playing this game?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun game, you know. Kind of wish it was grass out here a little bit. I got a couple turf burns. That'd be nice. But besides that, it's fun.
Well, maybe next year. All right, let's go over the Leslie Visser.
Right now. Ready?
Well, right now, I think I might be with so far the hero of the game, unless it's Lance the kicker. But Chris, could you talk a little bit about the touchdown?
Well, we were running some counter routes against him early in the game, and we ran one against McDaniels. He bit on the quick fake, and then we went downtown on the deep throw. Gus made a good throw, and just praise be to God, that 20,000.
Hey, what about for your team? You know, that you might lose a couple free agents, maybe Randall McDaniel. What do you see for the Vikings?
Well, I have an extra 20 grand to put on the cap, so I mean, we need to keep our players, add some big people maybe in the middle, and then try to go back at it next season.
Well, we'll see. We hope you get back there.
All right.
Thanks, Chris. Back to you guys.
Okay, Les. Well, Chris Carter already counting his money.
He's counting it, isn't he?
Yeah,
He washed and pressed his dollars.
Well, the NFC has the first down, and this is Larry Centers taking it to the 45 as we tick down toward the 2-minute warning.
You know, you think of Ohio State, you don't necessarily think of great receivers. You know, Woody Hayes with a great running game. Here we have an elder receiver in Chris Carter, and of course now we see Terry Glenn, who takes the NFL by storm.
Yep.
Look at the Buckeyes in an entirely different light.
2-minute warning.
My grandfather, my father, both my brothers, my kids will probably have thinning hair. Losing my hair was probably one of the most traumatic experiences in my life. But the great thing about Rogaine is you can interrupt nature. You can stop it. It takes 30 seconds. Twice a day. It's easier than brushing your teeth or putting on deodorant. About 4 months later, my wife walked by and she just was, hey, wait a second, you're growing hair. Check this out. And it's thicker, it's fuller. It's great. I'm a user for life.
I feel very safe in this car.
People love talking about Ford Taurus.
I mainly bought it for safety and security.
I like the way it looks.
This car has everything I need to fit my lifestyle.
Feels safe, reassuring.
It handles well, it hugs the road. I can turn on a dime.
I finally found a manufacturer who listens to the customer.
Ford Taurus, the best-selling car in America, starting at $18,545.
It's forward-moving, forward-thinking, and I love being a part of that.
You can't beat it.
Took it to the next level.
Morning number 3, smoke-free. Nice going Nicoderm CQ. Doing fine with no help, thanks.
You want to cheat?
No.
Come on, just one.
No.
I hate how calm you are.
That's the CQ.
Only Nicoderm CQ puts the highest level of medicine in your system. A 24-hour stream that's still with you when you wake up.
It helps calm the cravings. You'll see.
Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to quit successfully.
An ABC network premiere from Tom Clancy's #1 bestseller. Harrison Ford, James Earl Jones, Clear and Present Danger, ABC Monday.
The humpback, it's whale season here in Hawaii.
Hey, they are really fun, aren't they?
Yep.
A chance to take a boat out and watch them, and
yeah,
friendly little fellers.
That they are somehow,
which is a good thing. You know,
they stay away from the boats. Thank God.
Well, when you go out to do them, to go look at the whales, make sure you go on an organized. Don't try to do that yourself. Don't want to get too close to those guys, but if you go on one of the charters, they have a great deal of success getting close to them. And what a sight it is.
Larry Centers carrying the ball, and our spotter Malibu Kelly Hayes tells me that stop was made by the AFC.
And they were out of timeouts.
Ken Wolf, our producer. Craig Janoff directing. And as we wrap up another season, Mark Perklotz, our technical director, and Big Ben Harvey over here. Jaime Bravo, our associate director, and the gang's all here as we wrap up another year. And our thanks up in the booth. Kim Bowers kept the kennel going all year. Victor Vettorelli and Chris Pfeiffer doing great work. George Hill, our statistician. Steve Hurd, our brains and research, and Malibu Kelly Hayes, otherwise known as Kaka'ako Kelly Hayes, once every year.
And once
or
again,
illustrious spotter.
And once again, an undefeated season by Kenny Wolf and Craig Janoff, who beat Vitarelli and Pfeiffer to a pulp every week they played basketball all season. It was a pretty embarrassing performance by our PAs this year. Hopefully they'll get better.
Well, Ricky Waters picks up about 3 as he takes it to the 38-yard line. Coughlin checking out the clock, but there's not a lot he can do about it right now as the AFC is out of timeouts. The NFC with a 4th down and a long one at the 38-yard line.
Well, they count every second of this down. They don't care if they're penalized.
But again,
because of
if
the
they
location
don't
on the field.
If they don't convert, the AFC will get another whack at it.
They've already sent Matt Turk of Wisconsin Whitewater and Washington Redskin fame out to do the punting.
Junior Seau. Ferocity personified.
And Drew Bledsoe, this is his 2nd appearance in the Pro Bowl. He was here a couple of years ago.
And what a grizzled veteran he is, 24. There's Frank Winters, Packers center, who playing in his first Pro Bowl on the heels of a Super Bowl.
He placed Ray Donaldson, didn't he?
You know, we saw Drew Bledsoe, grizzled veteran. He's 24 years old, which is not old enough to rent a car in Hawaii. You try to rent one, you have to be 25.
Do you really?
You do. So you can start a Super Bowl in your 4th year in the league, but you're not old enough to rent a car.
Well, Drew ought to be in a limo anyway.
That's right. Good point.
No, he's old enough to go buy one, though.
By the dealership.
Have to be 20. What are they afraid? You're going to leave the island with it?
I guess.
What do you, it's the only place where you can't steal a car.
That's another good point. Turk hits one into the end zone and beyond, and so the AFC saw timeout with their last opportunity with 1:01 to play in the 4th. And let's get the final word from Sawani.
Well, Al, you know, at the end of the season, who would have thought that there would have been 11 head coaching changes in the National Football League after the season? And the San Diego Chargers, Junior, you got to break in another head coach.
Well, actually, you know, Gilbride's a great coach, and he has a great track record. So, you know, I look forward to meeting him probably tomorrow. But, you know, he has a great track record where he can lead us, and hopefully we'll win more games than we did this year.
When you meet with a Gilbride, what are the things that concern you? What would be some of the things you will want to ask him?
Well, Lynn, all I'm going to do is listen. You know, I'm pretty sure he understands where I'm coming from in the sense of playing a game of football. More importantly, I just need to get on track with him of what he wants from me.
But doesn't a head coach coming into a new job, doesn't he need to get a take on the team? He needs some players who are going to give him some insight into what he's coming into?
I think Gilbride will look to me for some insight. I mean, being one of the leaders with a number of players on the team, I feel that we can get the nucleus together and hopefully share some words where we can hopefully win in the upcoming season.
All right, Junior, thank you very much.
I wish somebody a happy birthday. Taylor, happy birthday.
All right. Thank you, Junior.
All right, Tom Coughlin ready to call in the next play. It's 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass.
Henry Mills, a special teams player.
By the way, I promised Kevin Glover, the center for the Lions, I'd say hi to his wife, Sestine. She's due in a couple of weeks and couldn't make the trip. And he says, wait for me. Don't do anything till I get home. We'll be home tomorrow.
2nd and 10. And going deep on a perfect pass. Holding by Tim Brown. And Williams can't run him down. Touchdown. And now do they go for one in the tie or try to win the game right here?
Williams, unbelievable. Again. Unbelievable. Now Tom Coughlin, boy, does he have a tough call. Boy, does he have a tough call.
1-point game at the moment. If it was a regular season game, you figure they'd send it to overtime, but let's see what Coughlin decides here.
Well, I think some of his defensive players are already undressed, have taken off their shoulder pads. He might have to go for 2.
We asked him yesterday, and he was rather firm in the fact that he would go for it, too.
He's got his kickers out there.
This is a $500,000 go.
He's going to kick it.
They don't have a timeout.
No, he's got Blanchard and Gardocki out there. They're going to kick.
With 44 seconds left in the 4th quarter.
Tim Brown almost 500 regular season receptions. What a clutch player.
To try to tie it. Blanchard. Well, with 44 seconds remaining in the game,
and half the people have gone home,
Chris Carter's $20,000 has just been a small withdrawal, at least temporarily.
There's been a hold placed on his account.
There has been.
Now the rest of this game is going to be played for $10,000.
Yep. And Aeneas Williams is walking over to the NFC sidelines trying to figure out what in the heck happened. Holy shnikes.
Williams has been tattooed a couple of times today. $10,000 differential between the winner and the loser. So it gets very interesting.
Hasn't this been an interesting fourth quarter?
Funny how coaches talk about going for 2 and a win before the game, and then it really happens and they become more conventional.
You know, you've got how could Tim Brown get that far past Aeneas Williams? In less than a minute left to play in the game. You got to wonder if Aeneas just didn't have some type of a.
Again, Dan, you can't go into a prevent defense. You're not allowed to.
Well, but you're
still man-to-man. I
as
agree
a corner,
with you.
you're allowed to give a lot of
give
room.
Him anything but the deep one.
I'd give him a cushion. It'd be unbelievable.
Well, he's probably thinking about that right now.
Well, the NFC has all of its timeouts, so they have 44 seconds and 3 timeouts to try to set it up for a game-winning field goal by Casey.
And they've got Bates deep here now, right? So maybe we'll see a little Olympic speed.
Michael Bates won the bronze medal in the 200-meter dash at the Barcelona Olympics.
The year 1992.
He's off. He's off from the 7-yard line, out past the 20, through the middle, bang down up at the 35-yard line.
Well, they got it up there to the 35. They need now to get Casey in field goal position. Casey with 37 field goals, new NFL record on the year.
About another 35 yards, and they give Casey a fairly legitimate shot here. Lynn Swan, what you got?
All right, Tom, give us your thinking why you didn't go for 2, why you went for the 1.
Well, we want to win the football game. We had an opportunity there. We'd already used our 2-point play, so we go ahead and kick, and we'll see what happens here. We go ahead and try to win it like we would a normal game.
Okay.
Yeah. As we said, you can say one thing the day before, then it really happens, and back to convention you go, and the pass is caught for a first down by Bruce, who more importantly steps out of bounds to stop the clock with 32 seconds.
Let's go back and take one more look at Tim Brown.
Well, they had run an out right before this. With Tim Brown, a little fake to the out.
Just that stutter
Williams
step.
went for it, and a little pump fake, and it was right in the hands, perfectly thrown.
But he gives that little stutter step like he's going to the outside. I mean, that's that break to the outside is a pattern you give a receiver when you're protecting a lead in the last minute of a game.
Pass, Isaac Bruce can't make the catch. Inbounds, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Well, one thing's for sure, even after 9 years in the league, it's pretty apparent that Tim Brown can still run with the best of them.
Like I said, almost 500 career receptions, regular season receptions, and so many of them clutch receptions.
Who are these two?
I know the dancer. I don't know about the other one.
2nd down 10, 26 seconds remaining. The game is tied. Farrat throwing, and that's incomplete. Lynn Swan, you got Tim Brown right there.
Talk to me, Timmy. Tell me what happened out there.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to, I couldn't go home for the offseason with that drop on my record, so I was hoping we would get an opportunity. We ran the comeback first, and he jumped it, and the second route was a go, and I just gave him the same comeback move, and moving, he just jumped and it was just trying to get to the ball. That left-handed ball is no joke, you know. It's moving and doing everything on you. So I was really concentrating, just trying to make sure I caught it.
Well, you got the ball in your hands and the wheels kept turning.
Yeah, I may be getting up there. I can still move a little bit.
You hear that, boys? He feels like he can still do it. Al?
He can do it. 3rd down and 10 now for the NFC. Can they convert here and try to set up a Casey field goal? And that's caught by Wesley Walls, and he's inside the 30. He's down at the 20. They can take a timeout and set up a game-winning field goal.
Well, Wesley Walls picks up about 12 yards after he's initially hit in the secondary of the AFC. Now that is some effort by Wesley Walls, dragging people for extra yardage.
He's turned into a premier tight end of the National Football League. He was with the 49ers for 5 years, only had 11 receptions. In the last 3 years with New Orleans and now Carolina, he's had 156 receptions. He has really blossomed.
33-yard pickup. The ball is at the 21. They're not going to fool around. They have 11 seconds. They're going to go for it right here. A 39-yard field goal attempt by Casey.
Well, that's called having a lot of faith in your field goal kick.
Casey missed his last one. I might get Lance out here.
Maybe you could try a little, nothing else, a couple of quarterback sneaks or something.
Casey missed a 20. Excuse me, he made a 20 and missed a 66 and a 40.
I think it's obvious the crowd wants Lance.
39-yard field goal to try to win the game.
Yes.
Short.
That ball was bobbled by who's holding it?
It looked like a bad snap.
Bad snap, high snap, and slow getting down.
Matt Turk is the holder. The snapper is Frank Winters.
Winters at the high snap. Turk had to reach for the ball, and I think he was bobbling him when he placed it down.
Oh, Nelly.
Again, you have to wonder, settling for a 39-yard attempt when you've got all these kinds of offensive players out there. Yeah, he had trouble with that ball. Just short. Couldn't get enough leg in it. Just short. Another good look. It's still short.
So the $1 million kick was good, and the $10,000 kick was no good.
Well, if you wrap that all up, that's about, what would it be for 43 players, $10,000, $430,000?
Right. Think Tom Coughlin wants to win this game?
Plus the coaches, it's about a $500,000 difference. And the AFC now can run out the clock or throw a Hail Mary or whatever, and they've chosen the latter option, and Brunell is going to launch deep downfield and see what happens, and it's knocked down by Eric Davis of the Panthers.
OT.
And so for the second time in history, this game goes into overtime.
I'll tell you what.
Can't score in 15 minutes. We had to all go home.
Well, we're not.
And the kick received by the AFC, taken in by Dave Meggett. Now past the 20, and Meggett brings it back to the 25-yard line. The only other time this game went to overtime was in 1993. The AFC beat the NFC 23-20.
What year was that?
In 93. Nick Lowry kicked a field goal 4 minutes 9 seconds into overtime. And so Vinny Testaverde will try to pull this one out for the American Conference.
I'll tell you one thing, there's a lot less tape on the arms of a lot of these players. A lot of them were taking their stuff off. All of a sudden had to get dressed again.
Yeah, Reggie White back in the game. Testaverde going deep and throws it behind McCardell. We're going to turn the other way. Eric Davis covering on the play. Second down and 10. From the 25-yard line, they run an end around with Tim Brown looking for some room. And picks up 4 up to the 29-yard line. Yards, as you can see, up and over 800, most ever by the two teams in a Pro Bowl game. Then he throws, caught it at 35, first down and a lot more. But Tim Brown, it takes it to the 50-yard line.
And it's Turcotte.
Experience of Tim Brown picking his way through there.
And this is Terrell Davis of the Broncos to the AFC 47-yard line. Done much.
Trying to call for volunteers here in overtime.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anybody's volunteering. These guys have all been drafted. Ooh, Reggie got there.
Testaverde throws, and that's incomplete. And Darrell Green is there, and you can tell they sort of mean business here. Now from the 46-yard line in overtime. Testaverde guns one, caught inside the 30-yard line by Keenan McCardell of the Jaguars, and they're in field goal range now, tackled by Hanks.
Man,
From the 26-yard line, keeping it on the ground, it's Davis for a gain of 2 to the 24, and a flag is thrown.
I'm wondering why.
Well, now, if this is a hold, this is going to push them back out of field goal range.
That's the first holding call we've had all the entire game.
Together with his brother Clay, what a magnificent duo.
First down and 20 from the 36-yard line, and Vinny escapes, throws, almost intercepted by Darren Woodson, who should have had it.
And Testaverde goes down again. The 2 flags are down at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Vinny's pretty fast. Vinny's not a bad athlete, but you know something? It sounds strange. He can't outrun John Randall.
Gary Blanchard loosening up for what he hopes will be a game-winning field goal.
I think it's going to go against the NFC. You're going to see it right here. Darrell's not going to let his man get deep.
And 10 for the AFC. 3 minutes into overtime. Terrell Davis of the Broncos moves the ball to the 26. So
What I'm pleased about now is that the trade winds were awful blustery this afternoon, and they have pretty much stopped.
AC does have his regular holder.
Yeah, it's an unusual combination that
that wasn't true with the NFC.
Pair of horseshoes here together.
41-yard field goal attempt by Blanchard to win the game. And he misses it.
Well, it's not the Pro Bowl kicking.
What a wacky day. The 2 Pro Bowl kickers can't buy a kick, and a kid comes out of the stands and makes one for $1 million.
Well, nothing new about that.
Second down 10 from the 32-yard line. Draw play. Haven't seen one of these today. Sanders takes the ball up to the 38. This is now
been 35 on the East Coast. These are our hours.
That's right. Sunday night football.
We are used to working this late.
And that's incomplete. And the boy wonder is 1 of 1.
Well, he's made the most money today. He's earned it, I guess.
Jim Schwantz ready to head downfield. Matt Turk. The Redskin punter puts it into the arms of Dave Meggett. From the 10, Meggett out past the 30, and a nice run back to the 34-yard line.
Sure didn't. But that's still a pretty good kick.
I guarantee Aeneas Williams on the far side will be giving a cushion this time.
Play action. Able to escape, gets hammered as he launches one downfield, and it's caught at the 22-yard line. Caught at the 22, an amazing play. Ben Coates, the tight end of the Patriots, somehow gets down there, is able to come back, is able to adjust, and makes the play, and they're back in field goal range.
Leroy Butler all the way downfield with Coates.
John Randall almost had the sack instead of 43-yard gain, and this is Curtis Martin bumping with Blanchard.
No, I think Blanchard would rather kick it.
This is Martin to the 15-yard line.
That's fine run.
No, we had the most yardage, and we've seen a bunch since then.
Third down and 3, and they keep it on the ground, and it's Martin, and they lose yardage, and now it's going to be a 38-yard, 37
anymore, and he's still mad at you, I'll guarantee you. Well, by God, this put the excitement back in the field goal, hasn't it?
Yep, Bruce Matthews is not going to snap this one. It's going to be a 37-yard attempt to win the game. One more time.
Yes.
He got it.
He did it. And the season is over. Minutes, 16 seconds into overtime.
And Tom Coughlin's decision to tie it up at the end of regulation turns out to be the right decision for the AFC. He ends up winning it.
The American Football Conference in overtime.
Well, it was their turn to win.
Yep, beating the NFC. They've alternated victories over the past 8 Pro Bowls. And the AFC wins it by a score of 26-23 in the Pro Bowl. Entertaining way to end the season. The Pro Bowl game in Honolulu going into overtime for the second time in history. And 8 minutes and 16 seconds into it, Blanchard kicks a field goal, and the AFC wins the game by a score of 26-23. We'll next hook up with you from Canton, Ohio in July. Until then, Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deirdre, Lynn Swan, Leslie Visser. Aloha from Honolulu.
With the roof and see how much you can.